everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the Manchester Derby live stream watch along. It's Manchester City against Manchester United. And look, it's very easy for the mood to be downbeat. So we're giving away an £800 voucher with Boohoo Man. Links in the video description. It's pinned in the chat. Don't forget to enter that. I'll give you further details in a moment. Big shout out to Boohoo Man for that. We can deliver some positivity, even if we don't get it on the pitch today. But what I want to say is that I feel that, and if you want to scan the code, you can do it on your mobile phone. We've got the voucher there for you to scan it as well, the Scout voucher code, but I'll talk to you that in a minute. But also, I just wanted to say from the off that I feel that, you know, Arsenal are winning 3-1 against Watford. I predicted this was going to happen. That's not a shock. So I think that if we draw today, Arsenal will be above us anyway. We'll have the same points, but they've got a better goal difference and they've got 3 games in hand. You know, I don't know what United fans want. Like, you can't sit there after the Wolves Watford draw and say top 4's gone. And then when Arsenal go and beat Watford, go, oh, I can't believe it. You know, if you say top 4's gone, it's gone. We're going to need a collapse from Arsenal to get top 4. I mean, to me, I'm not surprised Arsenal are winning, and I'm not surprised we're in this reality position. The second thing is no Ronaldo, no Cavani, no Varane. And people are saying we're going to get beat. I just want to say this. This is a Manchester derby. This is 11 against 11. These players that are going to play for us are on more money than the Man City team. Now, yes, we know they're mainly shit. Yes, we know they don't perform in the shirt. But let's not give them an excuse before a ball has been kicked. Let's not start saying City are going to hand us a new arsehole and beat us 3 or 4-0. They may well do that, but that to me is giving excuses to this team that they don't deserve. They are on more money than Man City's starting 11, whatever 11 we put out. And they are more than capable of getting a result here today. And I expect a result here today. So I don't want to see this negativity about, oh, you know, we're beaten, this, that, and the other. Because by giving them that excuse, you're letting them off. And they should not be let off. I demand a performance from Manchester United today. It is embarrassing if Arsenal win this game, which they're going to, and then Man City beat us, and we are 3 games, well, we'd be a point behind Arsenal, and they'd have 3 games in hand, and we've got to go to the Emirates. So, look, don't give them an excuse. Is my theory. But there is no Ronaldo. K2 says, "Is the news out yet?" The team news isn't out yet, but there is no Ronaldo. That's a predicted lineup. There's no Ronaldo. There's no Varane, and there's no Cavani, which we'll talk about in a moment. But first of all, I just want to give you a little bit of positivity because I know we're scratching around for it. Today's show is sponsored by Boohoo Man. Obviously, I'm in my Boohoo Man active range today. It's all about looking good and feeling great while working out. And Boohoo Man want you, the United Stand audience, to look good and feel good. And that's why they're giving you the opportunity to win a huge £800 voucher to spend on anything you like on the Boohoo Man website. Entering the competition couldn't be easier. All you have to do is either scan the QR code, which we keep putting on the screen, or hit the link in the description, or hit the link which I've pinned in the live chat as well. Fill in the form on the competition entry to site and hit submit. You have until 12 p.m. on Monday, 7th of March, to get your entry in. And at that time, all the entries will be collected and the winner will be chosen at random, which I will announce on the Tuesday night show on United Stand. And if you can't wait to find out if you've won the competition, then not only that, you've got the normal United Stand code, which will get you 40% off a huge range of items on the Boohoo Man website. 40% off with the code United Stand. I'm wearing something right now by them. Hopefully it's going to bring us a little bit of luck in the Manchester derby. And thank you very much to Boohoo Man for supporting the United Stand and giving you that a fantastic opportunity to win £800. Remember, you can scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. £800 voucher at Boohoo Man. Watford, thank you very much to Boohoo Man, by the way, but Watford nearly scoring there. I mean, the sad thing is that Watford have actually had chances in this game. Arsenal, you know, that's what makes it even harder. That Arsenal have actually been very, very, very clinical. So look, let's talk. Team news is coming out in 10 minutes. There's actually loads to talk about. It's almost like an 8 o'clock show before the match today because there's so much I want to talk about. There's some transfer news. There's some comments from Ragnick. There's some stuff about Ten Hag. There's Ragnick talking about, because obviously got the embargoed section of his press conference last night. We've not been live since then. So there's some comments he's come out with there as well. Pogba's come out about the dressing room, saying the atmosphere is very good there. Let's just start off about Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, normally I would have my Last Dance Cristiano Ronaldo top on. Fortunately, I wouldn't have had it on today anyway because we're sponsored by Boohoo Man, so I'm wearing my Boohoo Man clothing. But it would have been stupid to wear it today because Ronaldo's not going to play. The Ronaldo story, I really want to get your opinions. Thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel, David. If you want to become a member, click the members button and join. You'll get your little badge next to your name, and thanks for supporting the channel. The Ronaldo thing's really weird. Ragnick said on his press conference on Friday that 2 or 3 players were carrying a knock. And lo and behold, 2 or 3 players missed out. Varane, Ronaldo. We don't know what's happened with Luke Shaw. He was meant to be missing as well. I don't know what's happening with Shaw. And obviously Cavani's missed out. Now on Cavani, I love Cavani when he plays for United, but what a terrible buy. And I said this at the time, and I got clipped up for this. But you know what? Cavani's trained twice. Ragnick said Cavani's trained twice and we'll hopefully have him at least on the bench. He's not even on the bench. You know why he's not on the bench? I just don't feel right. That's Cavani for you. I just don't feel right. Ronaldo's not involved and Cavani can't get himself on the bench. That to me is a player that should not be at this football club. Now, I like Cavani when he plays and I would never question his desire when he's actually on the pitch. But off the pitch, he's got the desire of a corpse. He just ain't bloody interested. And if Ronaldo's injured or whatever reason Ronaldo's not playing today, it would have been nice to have Cavani on the bench, especially when he's trained a couple of times. But no, he's gone, nah, I'm not up for it. I'm not up for it. And that's just, this happened last year. What was it last year when we were playing in Europe and in Milan and he just didn't bother and the players and the club said he was fit and then he said he wasn't. You just can't rely on it. You cannot rely on it at all. Let's win this, says Elliot. So look, Cavani, first of all. Samuel Looker says, as reported last night, no Ronaldo, Varane, Cavani or Shaw for Manchester United, Mabry in the squad. So look, that is significant. And I'm going to say this straight away, and people might not like this, but I actually feel that that the loss of Varane and Luke Shaw is bigger than the loss of Ronaldo. Because I actually think there's a chance that, well, look, it's not even controversial. Man City should spend a lot of time in our half. Therefore, you want your best defenders on the pitch. I don't think we'll spend a lot of time in their half, and the time we do spend in their half will probably be on the counter. Now, I actually said I might have, I'm going to be honest and say I'd have put Ronaldo on the bench for this game because I think we're going to get dominated, and I think he'd basically be in a graveyard shift. So I wouldn't have played Ronaldo in this game anyway. And we'll talk about his dropping in a minute because that is the rumor. But I think Varane and Shaw are the biggest losses. I prefer Shaw to Telles. I just do. I like Telles, and I hope he has a bloody good game today, but I prefer Shaw. I'd be more confident with Shaw putting in a good game against Mahrez or whoever they play. But Varane is a huge loss. I mean, if Lindelof is here and Bay is here and Maguire is here, or wherever you rank them, Varane is here. And when Varane plays, we've never been smashed. So I think Varane is the biggest loss of all. Now, I've said this for a couple of weeks about Varane. I think there's an issue with Varane. I've not had it verified by anybody, but just, sometimes you don't need a journalist to tell you. Sometimes you don't need it to be said in a press conference. For me, there's something very obviously off with Varane. I don't know whether he's carrying a long-term knee problem. I don't know whether he's on decline, but it just feels to me like he just never can play consistently. And again, have we gone and recruited another player that's got an injury problem? And I wouldn't surprise me if we have. So I'm worried about not having Varane today, but we've been to the Etihad with basically this team. We've been to the Etihad without Varane and Ronaldo and won before. So the excuse is not there for me. And I expect us to go and do something. Hi, Mark. Thoughts on Varane? We got him on the cheap and that is starting to look like because he's injury prone. Well, we didn't get him on the cheap because he's injury prone, Joe. Thanks very much for the super chat. We got him on the cheap because he had 1 year left on his contract. But maybe United, in their evergreen approach of, making stupid decisions, maybe we just were overawed by the fact that we were getting a world-class defender for 40 million and didn't really consider his injuries. So I don't know. Somebody just said Ronaldo's in Portugal. Now, we've got the team news coming in 5 minutes, and the 5 minutes is probably not long enough to talk about Ronaldo, but I did the show last night at 8 o'clock, and there was this rumour that Ronaldo was not going to be involved in the team, but it was nothing to do with injury. It was a tactical thing. Now, there's all sorts of rumours going around that this account is an account on Instagram that Ronaldo follows. There's a rumour that Ronaldo's sister has liked a tweet or something like that. I don't know that. And you can leave yourself very open by saying, well, Ronaldo's liked it or his sister's liked it. The reality is the club, I think, will say he's injured, and therefore you have to go along with that. Well, you don't have to, but that's the official line. Some people are saying he's not injured and he's basically been left out from the game because Ragnick didn't want to start him anyway. And it's bad publicity to drop Ronaldo in a game like this. So they've basically said that he's injured because basically Ragnick doesn't feel that Ronaldo will suit this game. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs if that's the case, because Ronaldo should be able to be dropped to the bench tactically and then be an asset off the bench. I mean, I said this last night. You just don't drop Ronaldo completely. If you're dropping him from the 11, I think everybody would agree he needs to be on the bench. So I don't agree with dropping Ronaldo completely. And however that's been managed, whether it's a fallout, whether, unless he's actually injured, which I think will be the line, but if he's not injured, that's just stupidity. And if Troy says his ego's too big for the bench, I mean, look, as a Ronaldo fan, and I am a Ronaldo fan, but obviously I'm a Man United fan above Ronaldo, and I wouldn't have picked Ronaldo in this game. Tactically, I wouldn't have picked him. So, and I actually think if United get battered, then Ronaldo will be a winner, because he'll be able to say, look, I've had loads of shit recently. Ronaldo's the problem. Ronaldo's the problem. Well, let's see if Ronaldo's the problem. Because I tell you what, if I'm Harry Maguire and I'm Marcus Rashford today, I'm like, they should be pumped up for this game anyway. But if they can get a result, Maguire will be like, this is my opportunity to show I'm a proper captain. This is Rashford's opportunity to show that he's good enough to be the main man for United. Those two players should be absolutely frothing at the mouth to get involved in this game. So, I'm not giving any of the players an excuse. And I'm also not falling into the trap of making excuses and, it's the end of the world because Ronaldo's not playing or Varane's injured. The reality is, I guarantee you, if you added up everybody's wages, we will be paying more in wages for our starting 11 than they do. And that's not just because David De Gea is on 350 grand a week and Pogba's on 300 grand a week. Rashford's on over 200 grand a week. Maguire's on 200 grand a week. We overpay for a lot of players, and it's about time that they start. Apparently, Matt is starting. I mean, look, I'm not going to get pulled in to this. The next few minutes are going to be talking about the team news. I then want to talk about some of the comments from Ralph Rangnick, just to give you a little bit of, obviously the next few minutes is going to be about the team because we're waiting for that to come in. But Rangnick spoke about recruitment and clear identity and being quick in the transfer market. He also spoke about, how we need to approach this game. Pogba spoke about the atmosphere being good in the dressing room. Obviously, a little bit more about Varane and Ronaldo, and also comments about Ten Hag by Ralph Rangnick. So we'll be speaking about all that in the next hour or so. Please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're on that road now to 285,000. Mark, why do you think Telles and Delo have been dropped after clearly being the first choice for Ralph? Could it be with the board, says Aman? Well, I think you'll find that Telles is going to play today. And thank you very much for the super chats. You can do that through the $ if you so wish. Finished FC, says Isma. So other big clubs knew Varane was injury prone. That's why they let us have him. We were played again, says Benjamin. Well, look, you know what? If we have been played by that, and Watford have just had another great chance. Watford have created way more chances than they did against us, by the way, which is quite interesting. Schweinsteiger, it's not just Cavani and Varane that we bought that are injury problems. Eric Bailly had 3 injuries the season before we bought him and stayed injury prone. Schweinsteiger, injury prone. Apparently, Rashford's on the bench for Manchester United, so it becomes even more weird here. Rashford benched. I'm not understanding what we're doing here unless we're playing with a front 2. Some people are saying it's Sancho and Elanga up front with Bruno, Pogba, Fred, Scott in the midfield 3. We're going to play very, very deep in this game, I think. Yeah, it does look like it is that sort of team. So Rashford dropped as well. Okay. So it's that team. Is it the team I just said it was, or are we not listening? Yeah, okay. I've got it now. Got it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it is that it's out. So it is De Gea, Lindelof and Maguire, obviously. Wan-Bissaka, no Delo. Telles, because there's no Shaw. You've then got Fred and McTominay, which was, absolutely nailed on. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs that I think we'd all agree that McFred need to play. That's how slim our options are. And then you've got Bruno and Pogba playing. So it's a midfield 4. And then it's Elanga and Sanchez as the front 2. We've then got on the bench Henderson, Bailey, Delo, Jones, Hannibal, Lingard, Mata, Matic, and Rashford. I mean, look, that I'm more interested in Man City's starting lineup, to be honest with you. That United starting lineup, we know we've got no Varane, we know we've got no Ronaldo, we know we've got no Sancho. So I I expected that. Sorry, not Sancho. Varane, Shaw, Ronaldo, Cavani, and obviously Rashford's on the bench. But the Man City lineup is the one that really is going to dictate this game. And here it is. It's Edison, Walker, Stones, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Grealish, and Foden. Now, I'm actually happy. This could be clipped. I'm actually happy that Grealish is starting because I would have been more concerned if he'd have put Bernardo Silva off the left and Mahrez off the right and put Gundogan in the midfield. He's put Bernardo in the midfield with Mahrez and Grealish and Foden. And again, Jesus is on the bench. Gundogan is on the bench. Look, I'm not going to say I don't rate Grealish. I think he's a good player, but I think he's the sort of player that United should. Well, look, I don't know. I don't know where my comfort comes from it, but I think Gundogan tends to play quite good against us. Few people saying, why would you not pick Rashford? Probably because he's been shit this season. Actually, I don't actually have a problem with Rashford not starting this game. I mean, I'm surprised. Why would you start Rashford? Ultimately, I would have wanted Pogba and Bruno both to start, and they are. I would have started McFred, and they are. And I would have started Elanga over Rashford on form. So it surprises me that people are going, where's Rashford? Where's Rashford? I mean, Rashford doesn't deserve to start in this. I mean, that's the embarrassing thing for Rashford. He's not starting in a Manchester derby and he doesn't deserve to start. What do you think the formation is? 4-3-3 with Bruno through the middle or a diamond, says Joshua Bellwater. I'd imagine I don't think we'll play with a front two in Sancho and Elanga. I don't think that'll work. I don't think we will do that. I imagine we'll probably play... I don't know. We'll have to see how it works because we're going to end up doing a lot of defending, aren't we? There's nobody who can hold the ball up for a start. We've got nobody up front who's holding that ball up. Elanga's only, 19, 20? He's not physically strong enough to hold the ball up, and Sancho's not that type of player. So maybe Bruno will play as a false nine. Mark, we're screwed, says Kino. I don't agree with you. And what do you think the formation is? We've done that one. And Mark, Rashford for his pace when we know we will be on the counter seems a bit obvious now, says David. But Elanga's fast. So basically, you'd pick Rashford over Elanga because you think he's quicker. I mean, Elanga's fast. You know what? I wouldn't have been surprised if Rashford had started in the preview on Thursday night. I said I would have started Rashford, but I'm not. That's only my opinion. That's only your opinion. I don't think it's a point where you can have a pop at Ragnick for not picking him. I mean, the reality is, this is how bad Rashford's been. He's been rubbish. I like Rashford. I think he's a good player. But not this season. He's been absolutely dreadful. And, to moan that he's not starting when he's been absolutely trash and Elanga actually has scored goals, you can't have a pop at Ragnick for that. He's got it absolutely right, really. I just thought he would have gone with Rashford. What's your score prediction? Hope we don't get thrashed 3 or 4-0. I'm writing my PhD thesis and horribly stressed. Your show helps a lot. Hope we draw. Pushan, the fact that Arsenal have won worries me a little bit. The fact that Liverpool won yesterday worries me a little bit. Man City absolutely have to win this game. And United are weak anyway, and knowing that Arsenal are ahead of them now with 3 games in hand, I just wonder how, if they know that result, which I'm sure they probably do, how that impacts on us. Having said that, it's a Manchester derby, and I refuse to give them an excuse. This is 11 Man United players being paid more money than Man City players. We can't just, we know they're not good enough, but we can't give them a bloody free pass. They've got to put in a performance today. Is there hope for his Marks, his unsung hero? I think there is. I mean, look, I'd have been happier if Varane was playing, but ultimately, we can get a result, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get a result because these players would typically draw at home to Watford, then go and draw with Man City. Elanga is fast, and Elanga can pass and head the ball without closing his eyes, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. You pick the player that's in form, not a player that has been terrible, says Jay. And Ralph said Varane and Shaw tested positive for corona. Glad it's not injury, and I hope they get better soon, says Oz. And excited to see this lineup. Lots of possibilities. Think Bruno will thrive in this role. Of course, it's unfortunate it's against the best team in the Premier League, says Daniel Luciano. You know what? I think Ragnick, I'm going to go through some of Ragnick's comments in a minute, but I think Ragnick said himself that we're in the top 3 or something for, chances created at the moment. But ultimately, we're not unlucky to be playing Man City. We've blown a lot of points against teams we should have beaten. And when you do that, it's a bit like Burnley and Watford and Leeds and Everton, they're going to have to go and get big results now that you wouldn't expect them to get. You know, Burnley might have to go and beat a team away from home that's in the top half of the table that they probably wouldn't expect to do, but they might have to do that in the last few weeks of the season if they want to stay up. And if we want to get top 4, we've used up our easier games. We're going to have to try and do it by getting results here. So Ragnick has said that Raphael Varane and Luke Shaw have tested for positive for coronavirus. That's still hanging around then, isn't it? And what else? Is there any, I don't know whether he said anything about Ronaldo yet. I presume it's just going to say he's injured, but we'll keep an eye out for comments on that. Grealish starting for Man City, of course. If you want to know the City side, Ederson, Walker, Stones, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and then Mahrez, Grealish, and Foden. I mean, you know what worries me is what's your score prediction? Sorry, Pushin, I hadn't answered that. And they may show this is 4-2-3-1, but it isn't more likely 4-3-3, false 9, with Bruno in that position, says Steve. I'm going to go with a draw, 1-1. Any idea about why Ronaldo is absent from the team, says Saham? Well, I think the club are going to say it's injury, but apparently it's tactical. Mark, to be honest, I just don't know what the solution is to fix things, but I give Ragnick credit for making tough decisions, says Andrew Russi. You know what I feel like Ragnick is? As an analogy, I think we're all trying to throw him a life vest or something like that. But whatever he does and however hard he swims and however good he is at keeping his head above water, he's still swimming in a pool of shit. Like, he can't clean that pool. I'm sure he wants to. I'm sure he wants to make it a really nice swimming pool that everyone can enjoy. But ultimately, he dived into a pool of shit and he can't clean it. He's just trying to keep his head above water and not sink. And I think that's the thing with Ragnick. You know, of course, there is loads to be negative about and there's loads to moan about, but a lot of it really isn't his fault. But when was Rashford playing well? When playing Ollie ball always on the counter, says David. Yeah, I know. Look, I thought he would have started Rashford today, but you can't criticise him for picking a player who is in form over a player that is out of form. And I understand why people are negative. I understand why people think we're going to get beat. But in my experience, I've seen terrible Manchester City sides get results against brilliant Manchester United teams over the last 30 years. We've not been beat at the Etihad for years either. Like, we can go and get a result there. I mean, God, the definition of inconsistency is that you can draw at home to Watford and go and get a result at Man City. How many times have we seen people like Pogba and you know, Rashford and other players produce in a game like this? I wouldn't be surprised if Harry Maguire's man of the match today. You know, at some point, these players have got to show us why we bought them in the first place. And maybe today that will happen. Until this game kicks off and we actually see what happens, I refuse to, give up on it and give them an excuse. It's almost like some of our fan base. You've got to make them accountable. You've got to make these players accountable. You've got to make the club accountable. And you don't do that if you write them off before a ball's been kicked. They're on huge money. They've got huge social media followings. They've got huge egos. Go out on the pitch and actually show us that you're a football player. That's what I want to see today. So I'm not giving them the excuse of, Varane's out, Ronaldo's not playing. You know, the captain's playing. He's the captain of the club. Paul Pogba's playing. Bruno's playing. McFred, who seemed to start all the time, they're starting. Lindelof, who's been in good form, starting. David De Gea's starting. You know, Alanga's been good recently. Sancho's been good. You know, there's not really an excuse not to go and put a performance on. I mean, Southampton beat them. Spurs beat them. We're better than Spurs. So come on, go and deliver. Of course, Varane is a big loss, but, you know, I wouldn't have started Ronaldo in this game anyway. So let's not pretend that the Ronaldo thing's a big issue. You know, some of our fan base can't stand Ronaldo, which is ridiculous. But I would have not started Ronaldo because I don't think we're good enough to utilise Ronaldo in a game like this. So, you know, Varane is the loss for me. I think Luke Shaw's a loss as well. But these players are on good enough money to go and put a performance in. At least we packed the midfield, says Ali Jabbar. Thank you very much for the super chats that have come in. Please subscribe. Don't forget as well, we've got the £800 Boohoo Man voucher that you could win. Links in the video description. It's also pinned in the chat. Click it. Fill your details in, and you've got a chance to win an £800 voucher from Boohoo Man. You can also get 40% off if you use the Cozy Night stand, and also the QR code to scan it live on screen is there for you as well if you want to enter that way. Big shout out to Boohoo Man, £800 voucher. up for grabs. I'll be announcing the winner for that on the Tuesday night show. Big shout out to Boohoo Man. Today, we will most likely, I'm wearing some of their active range today as well, by the way. You can get 40% off with the code United Stand. For today, we will most likely see the best performance from McFred and Maguire. It would be typical of them, says Colin O'Connor. And thoughts on Ralph interview talking about Ten Hag. I think he wants him. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, Daniel. Thank you very much, Daniel Kirk. And do you not see De Gea's distribution? He has been horrible. Apart from his save, do you think we need to move on? Edison seems way better, says Anarud. Anarud, I mean, there is a brilliant cult on Twitter to chat about this. You'll find accounts like Dean Henderson's gloves and, all that sort of crap. I ain't got any time for your distribution De Gea chats. I haven't got any time for it. I think it's basically like, saving the toaster when your house is on fire, when you should be saving your family. Like, it's just low priority issue. Such a low priority issue. And as I said, even, I don't think his distribution is terrible anyway, but, we're playing Maguire in this game and you want to talk to me about distribution of David De Gea. We're playing McTominay and Fred in a game like this, and you want to talk to me about David De Gea, who's our player of the year, by the way. I would love to do a show on David De Gea's distribution, because if we're doing a show on that, that means we've sorted our midfield out, we've sorted our defence out, and we're challenging for titles. So, you go and rescue your toast. I'm going to rescue my family. Thanks, everybody, for watching, by the way. I refuse to give these players an excuse. I don't want to hear we're fucked. I don't want to hear we're screwed. I don't want to hear anything like that. This is a Manchester derby. Even if we were playing in League One, I would expect us to go to the Etihad and put a bloody show on. I definitely expect these teams of internationals and 200 grand a week players to put in a performance. Apparently, Ronaldo has a hip injury, same injury last month, and he was driven home after training on Friday, says Chiri. MUTV says Ronaldo has a hip injury, Mark, says Tony Cox. And let's get some positivity going. We've got this market. It's a derby. We're going to win, says some. Yeah, Deep. Thank you very much for that, mate, as well. And also, we've got a member, Razzie, says 25,000 people watching, only 1.9 thousand likes. Come on, everyone, smash the like button. That's nice of you there. Yeah, please smash a like on the video. If we get 10,000 likes before the kickoff, I think we win. I don't know. Thanks, Anarud, for the super chat there. And Zayn Miasi is very happy. So, yes, Arsenal are currently winning 3-1 with 5 minutes to go. Big win for Arsenal, puts them a point ahead of us. And after today's game, they will still have 3 games in hand on us. So, yeah, it's not looking good. And we've got to go to the Emirates. It's not looking good for United. I think if United have got any slim chance of getting top 4, then they need to... Oh, there's a goal for Watford with 5 minutes to go. Sissoko, terrible defending by Arsenal. I tell you what, though, keeping an eye on this Arsenal-Watford game, it should be a draw for Watford. They've had loads of chances. I mean, Arsenal have been really good going forward, but Watford have been so wasteful. And this is just terrible defending by Ben White. And then Ramsdale doesn't get down. 3-2, 5 minutes to go. Mark, we're winning today, says Matt. I woke up hating the colour blue. Love to you and the family. Hope all is well. And you, Matt, thank you very much. And goalkeeper's first job is to be a shot stopper. And who's better than De Gea? I don't understand that De Gea hates, says Butterpants. Thank you very much for that. So, look, maybe Watford can get a late equaliser here. It would be nice. But whatever happens in that game, I feel that top 4 is unlikely for United now. And if we want to get top 4, we need to get a result today to give us that belief that we can go and do anything. That's 100% true. So how are you feeling ahead of the game? Let's just do a quick poll as well. Results poll, as I call it. What will the result be in this game? And that will give us a bit of a gauge on what you're all feeling. I'm going to go United win, draw, and obviously City win. Paul Pogba did an interview with you're right, yes, somebody just said it in the chat there. Paul Pogba did an interview. So the poll's out. Get your result prediction in. Paul Pogba did an interview with Sky today and actually cut into the interview when they were talking about the dressing room morale and said, no, the dressing room is really good. The atmosphere is really good in the dressing room. He's not going to say anything else. Paul Pogba's not going to say anything else about the dressing room. Of course, he's not going to say anything else about the dressing room. But, as I said on Twitter, I mean, I wouldn't expect Pogba to say anything else. And in no way am I calling Pogba out. But if that dressing room's got a good atmosphere, what the hell's going wrong at the club? I mean, if you are a team of winners, can you imagine that? Imagine if Roy Keane was there or Wayne Rooney was there or Ryan Giggs was there. Do you think that dressing room would be in a good, happy state where they are at the moment? And that's the problem at United. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the dressing room is good. I know it's not, but imagine if it was good. It can't be good. You know, we're an embarrassment. There's got to be players calling it out, and there are players calling it out, but Pogba can only say one thing about that. So that's all I want to say about that. We all say we expect a result against City because it's a derby, but last time we played them, we had a defeat arguably worse than the Liverpool one, says Lucas. And hi, Mark, just tuning in. I see Maguire starting. Is this a mistake or something, or is he really starting, says Rick James. Look, I had people calling me out this morning, and I'm used to that, but I had people calling me out this morning because I said, if Varane is out of this game, I'd pick Bailly. And people were like, oh, you know, it was like I'd said, you know, I'd drop Pogba for McTominay. Like, Eric Bailly has played for us this season. Didn't he play against Chelsea? I think he did. I think he played against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and played very, very well, as he has done before. Eric Bailly is the perfect player to bring into a big game. And also he's mobile. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that Man City side, their front six, Bernardo Silva, well, no, Rodri's not even, their front five, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Grealish, Foden, and De Bruyne, they ain't whipping crosses into the box. So Harry Maguire, who we paid £80 million for his forehead's not going to be doing a lot defensively. Is he quick? No. Is he slow? Yes. Is he agile? No. I mean, he gets turned more than a roundabout. So I would have played Eric Bailly because Eric Bailly is mobile and I'd have played Eric Bailly. I wouldn't have played Maguire in a game like this. The fact that we are picking Maguire suggests to me that we're going to play very deep, edge of the box, deep, and just really play counter-attacking football. We're going to use the same tactics Swindon Town would use at the Emirates in the FA Cup. We're going to play deep and try and hit them on the break because that's all we can do. I agree with Samuel that Cavani is a waste. He's an absolute waste. I love him. I love Cavani when he plays for United. But look, if Ronaldo's injured, Cavani's trained twice and he won't even get himself on the bench. That's just, you know, there are players like this. But this is a player that's putting themselves ahead of the football club. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we should have done our own work on a player like that before bringing them here. Because, you know, there was an opportunity for him to be involved today and he's decided not to be. I'll tell you what, it's quite close in the poll at the moment. 37% are going for a United win, 19% are going for a draw, 44% going for a City win. I'm surprised that United are getting so many votes here. Hi, Mark. What are your thoughts about Ralph's comments on Eric Ten Hag and his interview with Sky Sports, says Vikrant? I'm going to talk about that in a minute, mate. And the worst thing playing Man City is that they play Valencia-type drilled crosses and Maguire would just be clueless and stand still, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. I think the most important thing about this game, and I am excited about it, the most important thing about this game is that we don't concede in the first 20 minutes. Somehow, we've got to not concede in the first 20 minutes. Man City are big favourites in this game. If they score in the first 20 minutes, they're favourites. They build upon that. You know, they get their rhythm going. If they don't score in the first 20 minutes, we build a bit of confidence. Man City maybe get a little bit frustrated. If we can score first, even better. But I think it's so important that we don't concede in the first 20 minutes. Because I think if this Man United side concedes to City, we're screwed. You know, what do you do when you're a park the bus side against the team that's 1-0 up? You can't park the bus anymore. It's a bit like Watford against us last week. If we'd scored with those chances in the first 20 minutes, Watford can't play like that for the next 70 because they've lost. They've got to try and attack, and then the game opens up a bit. We can't concede in the first 20 minutes. Alanga is going to surprise us today, and I hope show that he can be an important player on the squad. Cheering from Brazil, says Flavio. Connor, thank you very much for being a member for 25 months. If you want to be a member, you can click the join button. You know what? I think with Alanga, I'm just like, he's a young lad. He's hardly played any football. Let's just see what happens. But typically, as always, even the media are doing it. He's been overhyped already. I hope he can deliver. But, you know, it was only 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago he played and people were saying he was a load of crap. And then suddenly he scores and everyone's saying he's great again. I just think we've got this. I mean, look, Marcus Rashford, the charity work he's done, the book he's wrote. My daughter's got his book. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But as a footballer, how good is he as a footballer? You know, and that's the thing. United are brilliant at giving people the opportunity. Hey, oh, good shot, good save. Ramsdale from Kalou. Manchester United are great at overhyping things because it helps them because they're very much about their socials. But I think with Alanga, we just need to be patient. If he can deliver today, fantastic. Fantastic. Do you think it's a diamond formation, says Salman? I don't really know. I personally hope it's what I predict, what I said in my preview. I hope we're playing with a false 9. But we'll see. Right, I've got some comments I want to go through anyway from Ralph Ragnick, just to change the mood a little bit. We'll keep the poll up for a little bit longer. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We are on the road to 284,000. Remember, the United Stand, live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. And today we'll have, as per usual, we'll have the match reaction straight after the game, player ratings in the second half, fan forum, Adam's at the game as well, so he'll be giving his vlog and stuff. So lots to get involved with on the channel. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and join the United Stand Army, TUS Army. But I think just going through some of Ragnick's comments last night, they were very interesting. Basically saying that in relation to Ten Hag, very, very good manager. He's a top manager. He's done really well wherever he's been. But there are other candidates as well for the job. So, and he did say that he's had no conversation with John Murtagh or anybody about the next manager of the club. So, look, that's for next season. But, you know, the more interesting comments for me from Ralph Ragnick was about this game today. He said that we've got to be clinical if we get any chances. We're not going to get 7 or 8 good chances against Man City. We might get 3 or 4. We've got to be clinical. And we can't concede the midfield. Giving them possession is a big no-no. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do that and whether it's about swamping the midfield as well. Also, talking about the longer term for Manchester United, he said, look, my short-term aim at Manchester United was to come in and stabilise the club. And I think he believes he's done that. And he has stabilised the club. I mean, look, famous last words, but we've not been smashed by anybody since we've had since we've had Ragnick. Obviously, people would say we've not really played anybody until today, so let's wait and see. But he's definitely stabilised it. We've not lost many games. You know, we should have won. We should have more points than he's got, and he's accumulated reasonable amounts of points. But he spoke about the future, and he said that, look, recruitment is really important. It's about being quick enough to go and get the players that you want and knowing the market really well, which I think, you know, sounds very basic, but it's something United haven't done. We've never been quick in the market, and we've never been good at identifying the right site of players for us, and that's something that Ragnick can definitely help them with. And he said it's about having a clear identity as a football club as well, not just for what you want, but for what the fans want, and you know, making your fans happy. So, and I think what he's talking about really there is that we need to play the way that the fans want us to play, and I think Ragnick would be in tune with that. It's a shame with Ragnick because I think he's been, as I said, I think we've thrown him into a swimming pool of shit, and no matter how well he swims, you know, Ragnick could be there. Look at me. I can do the breaststroke. I can do butterfly. I can do backstroke. I'm brilliant. But you're still swimming in shit, Ralph. It's not your fault, Ralph, but you're still swimming in shit. And that's the problem. He a lot of what he says is in tune with what we're in tune with. You know, he knows we should be playing a rock and roll, exciting brand of football. He knows our recruitment should be better than it is. Will he be allowed an opportunity to be a part of that decision? I don't know. Arsenal have just won 3-2 against Watford. How many games are Arsenal doing it like that at the moment? You know, beat Watford 2-1, 1-0. Sorry, beat Wolves 2-1 and 1-0. 6 points. Beat Watford 3-2. Watford had the chances to get a point today. They're just accumulating the points here, Arsenal, and confidence is growing. As I said, Varane is a blow. Shaw is a miss going forward. Ronnie makes sense. Cavani's so unreliable. Rashford shouldn't play based on form. City 4-1 and Alanga to score, says Brian Nash. Mark, hear me out. I know David has saved us in 90% of our games and has stayed with us through thick and thin. But Hendo can kick the ball better, says Ainsley Harriet official. So Ainsley Harriet official, I mean, your name sounds like a joke anyway, but could you just have put something better? Could you have just said I would pick Henderson ahead of De Gea? Because then I'll absolutely ridicule you. But all I ever think about when I think about Dean Henderson, I just think about, was it Salah running through last season at Old Trafford, and basically Henderson standing on his front post and giving him the whole goal to aim at? Probably the worst angles I've ever seen from a goalkeeper. So look, I want my goalkeeper to save goals going in, basically. And David De Gea is the best in the league at that. Why isn't Ronaldo playing today? It's crazy, says Luffy. Apparently he's got a hip injury, mate. But there's also a rumour that it's something else. It's tactical. So I'm sure we'll find out more over the coming coming days. Varane is so we've done that from Brian Nash. Are you worried, Mark? No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I think that it's Ainsley Harriott was actually joking. Sorry, mate. It's unlike me to not actually see sarcasm, being as I'm very sarcastic myself, but it is everyone's arguing, Ainsley, you're right. I'm not worried because I expect these players. I'm so fed up with this club and these players at the moment that I refuse to give them a freebie. And I think it's a freebie to say, oh, we're going to lose this game. We've got no Varane, we're going to lose. I mean, that statement in itself explains the problem at United. If we've got no Varane, so we're going to lose. We paid £80 million for Harry Maguire. We've paid £50 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We paid £30 million for Lindelof. We've got one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the moment. You know, McTominay and Fred, look, I don't think they're very good, but £50 million for Fred. McTominay's meant to be this great thing from the youth setup. Sancho, we paid £74 million for. Paul Pogba's on 300 grand a week. Bruno, we paid 50 million quid for. And people are going, we've got no Varane, we've got no chance. We've got one of the most expensive. I agree, it's not good enough, but we've got one of the most expensively assembled squads in the world. And people want to go, we've got no chance because we've got no Varane. Call it out for what it is. These players we've spent hundreds of millions of pounds on this team. This team, forget Ronaldo, forget Varane, forget Luke Shaw, forget Cavani. This team that we've got playing Man City today, we've spent hundreds of millions of pounds on. Don't give them a bloody day off. Don't sit there if we lose and go, oh, well, I expected us to lose anyway. No. They will get both barrels if we lose this game, because this game is one of the games of the season where you don't drop your heads and be inconsistent. I expect a performance from these players today. And you know what? In a funny way, Ronaldo not being involved probably Ronaldo and Varane not being involved probably exposes this team as the way it needs to be exposed, in the sense that, you know, if Ronaldo had played today and we'd lost, everyone would have gone, oh, Ronaldo, he's finished and all this lot. Well, he's not playing. So let's see what this team is with Ronaldo. And Varane's our best centre-back. So let's see what it is without Varane. You know, I'd much rather we had both players available and playing well. Of course I would, but I fail to see the excuse, really. Mark, in your opinion, what is the biggest problem at the club? Players, coaching, or the board itself? My opinion is the board. All of it, Andrew Rossi. The players aren't good enough. The coaching isn't good enough. And the board are an absolute joke. But having said that, you know, shit rolls downhill. And if the board made the right decisions, then, you know, the only people who can change it are the board. The players can't change it. The coaches can't change it. The board can change it. Varane and Shaw have got COVID, says Kyle. Yes, that probably rules them out of the Spurs game. I don't know whether it does now. I don't think COVID actually is that long an isolation period now. But we'll see. Man City's team, if you want to know it: Ederson, Walker, Laporte, Stones, Cancelo. And Cancelo's been brilliant this season, by the way. Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Grealish, Foden, Mahrez. Now, I'm not saying that this is a good thing, because it's still a very good team for Man City, but I'm happier that Grealish is starting rather than Gundogan, because I don't know. I mean, look, Grealish will probably deliver now, but I don't think he's that. I don't think he's their best player. Mark, I think this team that Ralph has picked cost us £400 million, says Mario. And also, I don't agree with dropping Ronaldo, but if you refuse to be on the bench just for his ego, it's pathetic. You just don't refuse to play for Manchester United, says Mohammed. I doubt very much that Ronaldo's refused to play for Manchester United. I don't know where that's coming from. And, you know, I don't think that will be the case, to be honest with you. But you know what? There's also, you know, you could spend hours chatting about that. You know, if you're Cristiano Ronaldo and the manager says to you, you know, you're not playing, you're on the bench, I'm picking Maguire, it might wind you up a bit. But we have got players on the pitch to do some damage today. Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Jadon Sancho, Anthony Elanga. I want to see discipline from McTominay and Fred, 100%. And look, Maguire and Lindelof are going to need support, because that ball's going to move around like a pinball machine, and we're going to have to pick up the runners. The league table's been updated on the screen. So as you can see there, we are no longer in the top 4. And it makes bad reading, really, because although Arsenal have got 2 games in hand, of course, they will have 3 games in hand in a couple of hours' time. And if we were to lose to Man City, Arsenal would have 3 games in hand on us, be a point ahead of us, and we've got to go to the Emirates. The writing would very, very much be on the wall, wouldn't it? That we are not going to get top 4. But look, that's why we've got to get something. And look, Demos says red card incoming for Maguire. I think Fred and McTominay got to be very careful in a game like this. Doal says people clipped you saying Cavani was a bad signing, but even when he helped us last season, if he hadn't, Ollie would probably been gone sooner, says Dowell. Look, Cavani's a very good player, but ultimately I think he's a bad buy because, yeah, he did score some goals last year. You know, Southampton was probably his best game, wasn't it, when he came on and scored 2 big goals? But I would rather, would I rather have Josh King over Cavani? That's what got clipped. And the answer is probably not. Having said that, if Cavani's a 9 out of 10 player and Josh King is a 7 out of 10 player, or maybe a 6 out of 10 player, would you rather have the 9 out of 10 player who only plays 30% of your games, or would you rather have the 6 or 7 out of 10 player who's available for 90% of your games? And that's the point I was trying to make. It's like Cavani's never available. So it doesn't matter how good he is. If he's never available, he's never available. You know, who else bet on Fred and McTominay yellow card, says John. And yeah, they've got to be very careful today, John. Very careful today, because if you pick up a yellow card early on in a game like this, and McTominay's discipline is appalling. I mean, I think he's going to get a ban anyway, isn't he? Is he what, like 1 or 2 yellow cards away from a ban? He's going to pick up a ban soon, and it's absolutely inevitable. I would describe McTominay as a, I don't know what I would describe him as. He's dangerous. You just don't know whether he's going to be dangerous for you or dangerous for the opposition. Arsenal have a tricky enough end to the season. We need to be sure to do our own work. If only I had faith in the team to do that. They must improve, says James. I don't think Arsenal do have a very tricky end to the season, mate, to be honest. According to ESPN, United have the most expensive squad in world football. Manchester United, says David, will definitely pay more in wages. I bet even without Varane, Ronaldo, Cavani and Luke Shaw, I guarantee that starting 11 of United is on more money than the starting 11 of Man City. And yet people are going, we ain't got no Varane, we ain't got no Ronaldo. I guarantee that. Okay, has Cavani even played any big game? He's missed every one of them, if I remember correctly. K-Flow, I think he's missed a lot of Manchester derbies. I definitely think he's missed a lot of Manchester derbies. Over 30,000 watching before the game's even started. We know it's going to be a big one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not giving this team an excuse. It's a Manchester derby. No Ronaldo, no Varane is not an excuse not to go and get a result there. Spurs got a result there. We can get a result there as well. Do not give these players an excuse, because that's all they ever want, an excuse. We go again. We give our best. No, we go now. We get the result now. Because I tell you what's going, top 4's going. Arsenal are a game in hand of us, and they'll have 3 games in hand. Sorry, Arsenal are points ahead of us, and they'll have 3 games in hand of us after this game. We're going to get dominated, aren't we, Marks, as unsung hero? If those players might have your mentality, mate. They may well have your mentality, but we can't have that mentality. Remember as well, big shout out to Boohoo Man and wearing my active range. You can get 40% off with the code United Stand on the Boohoo Man website. Use United Stand as your code. You'll get 40% off. But even more exciting, we are giving away, well, we're not, Boohoo Man are giving away an £800 voucher that you can win to spend on their website. £800. You can enter through the link in the description, enter your details, and you're in. You can do it through the QR code on the screen at the moment, or you can do it through the pinned chat. £800 voucher, and we'll be announcing the winner on the Tuesday night show. So click the link or the QR code, £800 voucher, which is massive. So one of you could get a result today. Let's have a look what you've gone for in your Okay, so we've had 21,000 votes. I don't think we've ever had 21,000 votes on a chat poll. United win 36%, draw 18%, and City win 46%. I'm stunned, actually, that United win has come out ahead of draw. I would have thought City win would be about 50%, maybe 30% going with the draw and 20% United win. But people are going with a United win ahead of the draw. I think the United win is probably the third most likely outcome. If we are to win today, who do you think will be more pivotal? De Gea, Pogba, Bruno, McFred, or the centre-backs? Says Cherry. I can't predict those type of things. If I did, I'd be a millionaire. I can't predict who's going to be the most influential player, mate. I can say where the weaknesses in the team are, and I think McTominay and Fred have got to be disciplined, and they're going to have to protect Maguire and Lindelof, and we're going to have to pick up the runners, and we're going to have to be clinical, like Ralph said, if we get chances. But it's going to be difficult. On United, live from New Jersey, any score prediction today, Mark? I'm still going to stay with a draw, Sir Procure. I'm going to still go with the draw. I remember when we played Man City off the park in the first half, the Etihad back in 2009, so you never know which United you're going to get, says Julian. Let me just say this, though. Look, even if we get a draw, it's a very good result for United. But even if we do get a draw, we'd have the same points as Arsenal, and they've got 3 games in hand, and we've got to go to the Emirates. So, look, the enormity of this job, that's why United's mindset's got to be really good today, because you could be like, well, even if we get a draw, which is a great result, we're still not above Arsenal, and they've got 3 games in hand, and we've got to go to the Emirates. So it just depends where Manchester United's mindset is today, because they've got a mountain to climb if they want to get in the top 4. Mark, why do you think we don't seem to be up for some games? Feels like every team always has a chance against us. Seems so disjointed on the pitch, as Michael Fetty. Weak leadership, weak mentality, basically. Bruno has to play shorter patterns. McTominay should pass forward while Fred has to improve his ball control, says Mo. And hello, Mark. Don't you think that Ragnick did very well for the team overall, of course, and he should stay as manager of Manchester United, says Mr. Sim? I don't want him to stay as Man United manager. No. I don't want him to stay as Manchester United manager because I think he's already been undermined as Manchester United manager. So I don't want him to stay, but I think he's done a good job. I want him to become our director of football, basically, because I think our current director of football and the board around him are bordering on incompetent. So, well, they are incompetent. I think they're useless. So I would love to see Ralph Rangnick come into the club, because he speaks about being proactive in the transfer window, being quick, recruiting the right players, having the right identity that pleases the fans. You know, he talks the talk. So some comments from Ralph Rangnick. He says, we decided for the formation to be as compact as possible and still in transitional moments be able to create chances. Alanga's a fantastic... No. I don't want to read that. That's 5 hours ago. I thought I'm trying to get Rangnick's comments in the last few minutes here, because I did just see him on my screen. So let's have a look if we can find those comments for you. Cristiano Ronaldo is apparently suffering from the recurrence of a hip injury. And Ragnick said that Cavani trained well in the last 3 days, but in the end, he didn't feel quite well enough to play. And Cristiano had some problems with his hip flexor on Friday. So it's a hip issue with Ronaldo. And basically, Cavani couldn't be arsed. Same old Cavani, I'm afraid. And well, the thing is, Cavani will play for us again this season, and he will do well. And we will love him, because when he plays, he gives everything. But Cavani plays for himself, you know, until he's on the pitch. When he's on the pitch, he plays for the team. But when he's off the pitch, he thinks of himself. And ultimately, this happened last year against AC Milan. We went to AC Milan at the San Siro. Ollie thought Cavani was fit. The fitness department thought he was fit. And Cavani said, no, he wasn't. And again, the same thing has happened again today. It doesn't mean that Cavani won't have a big part to play in the end of our season, but you can't rely on him. Certified Gamer, thank you very much for your super chat there. And Martial would have been really handy today, says Connor. Well, you know, if you misuse the players that you've got, they leave. Martial will be happier in Sevilla, and I think Donny van der Beek is happy at Everton. Both players could have been used valuably at the club. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 284,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with the United stand. Do you resign Pogba in the summer, says Max Thorpe. He's got to want to resign in the summer, mate, basically. I think Rangnick has done his best to polish a turd, says Rob Quince. You can't polish a turd. That's the problem. You can polish a turd. But you know, he has done a good job. It could have been better. But he has done a good job, I believe. I just wanted to bring you a couple of other things as well. Manchester United linked to Nunes from Benfica, which is a player that we've sort of been talking about. It doesn't help us today, but I think he's a very interesting profile of a striker. 22, Benfica, very prolific. Can he step up to the Premier League? Well, look, Diaz has come from the Portuguese league to Liverpool. There's plenty, you know, Portuguese players have. I mean, let's be honest with you. There's an article there that a journalist should do, really. what country or league has the best success rate coming to the Premier League, because Portuguese players seem to do quite well, very, very well. And, you know, Nunes could be a very interesting type of striker. Apparently United are interested, but Atletico Madrid want him as well. I could see him going to Atletico Madrid, actually. Portugal to Spain, Uruguayan striker, replacing Suarez. So I could see that happening, but he's an interesting type of striker. And I mention it because we were linked to him this morning. And, you know, I wouldn't say he's anywhere near as good as Cavani, but he's only 22 and he's got similar traits to Cavani. You know, he's not blisteringly fast, but he's got an overall good game. So, yeah, I would take someone like that. It's going to be very tough, but because it's a derby, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something out of the game, says Joskin. Yeah, that's my mentality, definitely. Mark, you say Cavani isn't a good signing because he isn't available. Does that mean Maguire is better to have than Varane since he's more available, says Ted? Well, I love how people take a statement and turn it into something that I didn't say. So Maguire's a better signing than Varane because Varane's never available, but you're totally ignoring the fact that we didn't buy Maguire for the same fee as Varane or cheaper than Varane. We spent £80 million on Maguire, and that will always be the thing. It doesn't matter about availability. We spent £80 million on Harry Maguire. That's the biggest issue. We wasted a lot of money on Harry Maguire. So I would rather have, I wouldn't, if Varane has an injury problem, which I think he does, then we shouldn't have bought him. And we shouldn't have bought Maguire either, because we wasted a lot of money. Rashford pre-injury was a pinpoint crosser and he'd get on anyone's head. Now it feels like I haven't seen him give a meaningful cross all season, says Tristan. Well, the Rashford conversation really is irrelevant in a way, Tristan, isn't it? I suppose, because he's not even starting. But, you know, last season, I think the excuse for Rashford was that we knew he was carrying an injury. And this season, what's the excuse? He's not starting in a Manchester derby when Cavani and, I mean, this is the big sentence. Marcus Rashford is not starting in a Manchester derby when Ronaldo and Cavani are injured. That's how low priority he is. Jesse Lingard's not starting in a Manchester derby when all those players are out. And Alanga is. You know, I applaud Ragnick for that. Should have let Cavani go to Barcelona. We have to win today. A draw is not good enough, regardless of the opposition. And, hey, Mark, I'm convinced that we'll never become successful until we get rid of Maguire at this club. He resembles everything wrong at United, says Akil. Well, that's not Maguire's fault, Akil. I get your point. He, you know, whilst he is symbolic of what the problems are at United, overrated players on too much money, given too much power. Yeah, Maguire does symbolise that, but it's not his fault. You know, he didn't make the deal. He didn't demand the captaincy. He's just somebody trying to, you know, be the best player he can be in a situation that he probably isn't good enough for. Mark, do you think Wan-Bissaka has regained his spot after being dropped earlier, but what has Dello done wrong to be dropped? I think that's a great point. I'd rather talk about that Anshaman than I would talk about than Marcus Rashford, because it sort of skirts under the radar. Why is Wan-Bissaka starting in a game like this? Now, I predicted he would do on the preview. I was absolutely sure that Wan-Bissaka was going to start in a game like this, but I don't know what Dello has done wrong to lose his place. Even in his last game where he played 90 minutes, he wasn't bad. I wouldn't say he was brilliant, but I think what happened to Dello is that Dello is good going forward, and he's not been good going forward since he had Rashford ahead of him or Elanga ahead of him, because neither of those two players, certainly Rashford, work well with any fullback because you run past them and they don't pass. So I feel that Dello has lost his place because of the uncertainty of the winger ahead of him. And Ragnick has just decided, well, I'm just going to go with the better defensive right back, which is Wan-Bissaka. So I think Dello is unfortunate to lose his place because I don't think he did anything wrong. I just think going forward, we're just not very good with Wan-Bissaka or Dello at the moment because we don't really have a right-sided player who understands how to work with an overlapping fullback. So he's just gone for the better defensive fullback, who he believes is Wan-Bissaka. As a gunner, I'm hoping City do the business. However, United will do a Spurs. Do you think we'll get top four now, says Alexander. Mate, you know what? Arsenal fans make me laugh because they will be coming on here trying to rip the piss out of me and Arsenal and United fans. But 13 months ago, no, longer than that, it was like start of December. So 15 months ago, I was saying I can see what Arteta's doing. And Arsenal fans were going, fucking just doing that because you want us to keep him. Arteta out, T-shirts, Arteta out. So I could see what Arteta was doing 15 months ago. And I'm not surprised with what he's doing. I think he's a little bit ahead of schedule. I think it's amazing what he's done. I hate it, but I think it's amazing what Arteta's done. So if you're coming on here to take the piss out of me or United, well, welcome. You've got every right to do it. But I'm not surprised with what Arteta's done. I saw it ahead of a lot of what Arsenal fans saw. And I think top four is there for you to... All I can do is try and put pressure on Arsenal and say it would be the biggest bottle job ever if you drop top four, because even if we get a draw here today, you've got 3 games in hand on us and we've got to go to your place. And there's 10 games left? That's an amazing opportunity for you. And anybody who says, well, they're 3 games in hand or against, 3 top 4 clubs, that would be fine if we didn't have to play those top 4 clubs as well. So, all right, even if you lose your 3 games in hand, when we play Man City or Chelsea or Liverpool, as long as you win those games, you'll make those points up there. So the opportunity is huge for Arsenal. Mark, I haven't been around this week, busy breaking my ribs skiing. Now I'm back and there's a terrible war. Football, the only distraction now, says Andrew. Yeah, well, hopefully we can get some enjoyment out of this game. I'm certainly going into it not defeated. Mark, a draw is a good result, but the problem is we're going to score first, then City going to equalise, which is going to feel like we lost as Trapman. I've been subscribed for a while and you've always been consistent on your opinion on Arteta. Just another reason I like your channel. No mocking, says Alexander B. Thank you very much. And I miss Zayn Miassi, says Aussie. He'll be around somewhere, I'm sure. Although it was Arteta out, I don't get why United fans are so quick to slate Ronaldo. It's like Spurs fans blaming Kane and Son when there are 99 other massive problems, says Bram. Well, look, I don't think it's a positive not having Ronaldo involved today, but I suppose one thing I would say is that whatever happens today, it's not going to be on Cristiano, is it? It's going to be on these players. And, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a positive way as well. These players, as I said, if I was Harry Maguire, I'm the captain, I'd be bloody determined to get a result here and show everybody, I can lead the team without Varane. Maguire today is vulnerable. In a vulnerable position, you can show real ability. Ronaldo's not there. So, people will think, well, this team's screwed. And you've got a brilliant centre-back who's not playing next to you. So if Maguire has a good game today and United have a good result, we'd all have to go, wow, that's what we paid £80 million for. Because what I mean by that is, why not deliver? We spent £80 million on him. Why not deliver in a game like this? You're the captain of the club. You're on 200 grand a week. You're an England international. You're an £80 million player. And we're moaning about no Varane. Deliver. Lindelof has been brilliant recently, and we've got an £80 million centre-back next to him. Deliver. Time to deliver. And I tell you what, Arsenal are in a very, very strong position, and they are very much strong favourites for the 4th place. But if United go and beat Man City today, that could be the kickstart to really believe that we can go and beat Spurs next week. We can, we could go, how many games have we got left? 10 games left? Beat City today. Why not go and win 9 of your next 10? All right, Anfield will be difficult, but I wouldn't say it's last chance saloon, because I think Arsenal are very strong favourites for 4th. But if we were to win today, with no Varane, no Ronaldo, and they've got to come back, and Cavani's got to come back, maybe it could be the kickstart, but it's going to be very difficult. And look, one thing we really haven't spoken about over the last hour is that Man City are one of the best teams in the world. And they know they've got to win because Liverpool won yesterday, and they've got the better team and the better manager, and they're at home. So, we can talk about what we want to do. Our team could play the best it can play and still lose 4-0. That's how good City are. Every one of our players could play the best game they've played of their career and still lose, because Man City are better than us, they're coached better than us, and they've got a lot better players than us. I wouldn't put a United player in a combined 11. I wouldn't. Well, actually, I would, but I'd be voted down. But if you'd ran a vote, you wouldn't get a United player in a starting 11. Only United fans would do it. So look, if they play to their best of their ability, we can't win. This might be a 4-2-2, or what are your thoughts, says Bouillon. I don't know how we're going to play. I just think we're going to play very deep and on the counter. Arsenal are welcome to top 4. They can play in the Champions League and walk around like they've made it, while we get humbled and have to rebuild, says Nick P. Yeah. So, yeah, apparently it's an injury for Ronaldo. It's a hip flexor injury. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. bottom right-hand corner to do that. So why is it you are positive about this game, says Robin? Lovely. Thanks, Robin. I'll tell you why I'm positive about this game. It's almost like that's a staged chat, which we've never actually done. So it's not a staged chat. I just focused on it because it's a brilliant point. Why am I so positive about this game? Because I refuse to give this team, club, board, coaches, players an excuse. They thrive on excuses. They thrive on we go again. They thrive on we'll try harder. They are on more money than that Man City side. We've spent more money on that squad than most teams in the world, even without Varane and Ronaldo and Cavani. So why are we giving them an excuse? We know they're shit, but they're underperforming. They are wearing a Manchester United shirt. And also, in a Manchester derby, it wouldn't matter whether Man City were in the Championship or we were in the Championship. It's a great leveller. They should not get an excuse in a Manchester derby. Most of our team are internationals. A lot of them are on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. A lot of them we've spent tens of millions of pounds on. We cannot just go, oh, I've got no chance because we've got no Varane. I've got no Ronaldo. Don't give them a bloody excuse. They've been living off excuses all season. Oh, if we'd scored against Watford, we'd have won the game. Oh, if we'd have just held on, if we'd have come out in the second half against Burnley, we'd have won the game. You know, if Robert was my sister's brother, he'd be my uncle. You know, it's as simple as that. So give him, I expect a performance. I'd love to be in the dressing room right now. And if I walked in and they're going, oh, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be hard. I go, get up and swivel on it. You get out there and you put a bloody performance on. You know, if you get a draw, it might kickstart the season. If you don't concede for the first 20 minutes, you're in the game. Go out there and compartmentalise it. First 20 minutes, keep it tight. Don't do anything stupid. Don't pass the ball to Fred's feet so it bounces to bloody De Bruyne and he scores. Get out there, focus on it, and get a bloody result. It's 11 against 11. You've done it before. That's what I say. Anyway, I'm so excited. I need to go for a quick wee. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to pass Draughty on. He's going to talk to you about some of the super chats. I'll see you in a minute.
33,000 of you watching then at the moment. Only 6,000 likes on the video. Can we get that up to 10,000 before the game kicks off as a good luck thing? That's what Goldbridge used to do. And also, as you can see on the screen, before we go into super chats, Boohoo Man are giving you the chance to win an £800 voucher. To enter, simply scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the video description. Competition closes at 12 p.m. tomorrow on Monday the 7th of March, and the winner will be announced on Tuesday evening's United Stand show. So, easy way to get involved. If you don't know how to scan the QR code, like it says, there is a link and you can enter your details to enter the competition there. So looking at your super chats then, I need to go over to my other screen because I've got 3 at the moment. There's a lovely one here. It says from Alexander B. Bear with me. As a gunner, I'm hoping City do the business. However, will United do a Spurs? Do you think we will get top 4 now also? The thing is, Arsenal are now a point ahead of Manchester United, and if we lose this, they have 3 games in hand. At that point, you probably think Arsenal are going to get top 4. So I was just doing your Boohoo Man plug as well. So
oh, good. That's
saved you a job.
That's what he's paid for. There you go. £800 voucher. QR code. Give it a go. The players. I mean, look, I've really enjoyed that last hour. Thanks to Draughty just dropping in there. What's your score prediction before you go, mate? Actually.
I'm going for 7-0. You know how it is.
Yeah, but that's to United, isn't it?
7-0.
Yeah, that's how stupid that prediction is. He might be right if he's going for City, but no. Players are coming out on the pitch anyway. Look, somebody remind me in the chat. I need a bit of positivity. I'm feeling. I'm not delusional, and I'm not positive. I'm demanding. I refuse to accept that we just throw in the towel in a derby in a game where we've got very slim chance of top 4 that we should have got in the first place. So I refuse to do that. And remind me in the chat, when was the last time Man City beat us in the league at the Etihad? Or more importantly, how many times have we won at the Etihad in the last 5 years in the league? Because I think it's very good. Million Hawk says, Mark, would you prefer England win the Euros and World Cup in a row or see United win the treble? I'd rather England. Mate, I couldn't give a shit about England. I enjoy it when the World Cup's on and I get involved in it because there's nothing else to watch. But international tournaments are like a bubble. You forget everything else and you get really into it. You know, I've got an England tracksuit top upstairs. I never wear it, but I will wear it when the World Cup's on. But United winning is way more important to me. If you said to me England can win the World Cup, Man United, England, you can watch England win the next 2 Euros and the next 2 World Cups, or United win a treble or a title. I'd take the United title over that. Mark, I love the channel, but when will you learn not predict good outcomes for this United? I'm legendary. I'm not having that. I have not predicted that United are going to win this game. I am not even saying that it's likely that we'll get a good result. But what I will refuse to do is give those players an excuse. Seems to be a lot of negativity in the chat saying, oh, we're going to lose, we're going to lose, we're going to lose. You're giving him an excuse so that when we do lose, I knew we were going to lose anyway. You can't fault the lads. You can fault the lads. 11 multimillionaires in a United shirt. I demand more. I demand more. And it's a Manchester derby, which has always been a great leveller. Unpopular opinion, but I think it would be better for us if we didn't get Champions League, more time and funds for the new manager, says Joshua Bellwater. Yeah, the Glazers won't agree with you on that one, mate, but good luck. Good luck. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, Mark. It's absolutely terrible. It'd be absolutely disgusting if we don't get top 4. Fair play to Arsenal if they do. I'd build a statue for Arteta. I thought it was so unlikely. But if United don't get top 4 with the team that we had, to drop that far, it's disgusting. But look, talking about things that that might not happen. The game is about to start. The players are in the centre circle. One thing I would say, I expect Man City's possession to be around 70%, which is a lot. If we can keep that down, great. I'm just going to end the poll. I thought I already had. 35,000 votes, 46% going with a City win, 37% going with the United win, 17% going with a draw. We're in that weird situation today where even Liverpool fans see us as such a low threat that they want us to win to help them win the title by beating City. That is how far we have fallen, because Liverpool fans would never really want United to win a game of football, but we're such an insignificant threat to them that they want us to win to beat Man City. Predictions, I don't know what you're talking about, Hassan. And Maguire's going to shine. Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I'm not excusing them. I just have no confidence in any of these players. They couldn't beat Borough, weak mentality. But Jameson, I'm telling you now, look, I'm sure you've all done it. When I used to play football, I remember, my best season ever was under 16s because I won everything for school and my local team. And my local team had a rivalry. And it didn't matter whether we'd lost the week before. And they were very good. Our rivals were very good. And we went into a cup final against them. And we were massive underdogs. They'd won the league comfortably. They'd cruised to the cup final. We beat them 4-2. And we were 4-1 up with 10 minutes to go. We absolutely battered them because it was a rivalry. And we were just so up for it, even though we weren't the better team. And that's why these derbies, no one ever says it's a cliche in a derby, because they just have something that, it's not always about ability. It's about something else. Anyway, we're about to start the match here. Let's see how it's going to go. Bruno will start it off. Watch the formations and see how we go. Obviously, had it as a front two with Sancho and Elanga. I'm not so sure we'll do that. I think it will be interesting to see how we start off in this. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 285,000. And don't forget Boohoo Man's £800 voucher. Links in the description. We'll talk about that again at half time. But we're just about to start here. The players take the knee. Bruno's got the ball. And Bruno kicks it off. We're away. The Manchester derby. United heading to a 4-0 win. This is where it starts. We shouldn't laugh. Anyway, United have got the ball at the moment. See how we get on. Nice little ball there by Elanga, but McTominay, typically first 2 passes of the game for McTominay go straight to a blue shirt. It's all right, though. He likes a tackle. Scooby-Doo. I love this sort of game. Give me a tackle and I'm in. But this is Man City for you. Look, we're pressing them and they just don't care. This is what happened at Old Trafford. They give it to Edison under pressure and they just don't care. They'll just play a 5-yard pass. They're not bothered about being pressed at all. It's just Ragnick will be watching this and he'll be going, oh, I wish I could do this. Humphrey, City doesn't have runners to expose Maguire, so there's a chance we won't be humiliated. We can stretch them, says Humphrey. No, where they'll cause Lindelof and Maguire problems, Humphrey, is if they get to the edge of the box and how quick they move the ball. But yeah, they don't have explosive pace. But Man City here, we're in Man City's half, and they're just passing it around. They just don't. It's almost a bit of a piss take the way Man City play, but it's not a piss take. It's just the way they play. But you'd think they're under pressure there for a couple of minutes because they're playing around their own penalty box. But it's just the ability to pass the ball. They're just so confident, and they win it back so quickly as well. Sancho's first touch there. Yeah, this is. I'm just trying to figure United's formation out. I mean, Sancho and Alanga are playing very wide. We're basically it sort of looks like we're playing a 4-2-2-2. But Alanga and Sancho are playing deeper than Pogba and Bruno. It is like a 4-2. It's like a 4-4-2 really, but the two being Pogba and Bruno are both midfielders playing quite deep. As I said, the first 20 minutes are massive. If we can just not concede for the first 20 minutes. And to be honest, I'm scared to say this, but the first 2 minutes has not been too bad. But this is where we could get ourselves into trouble trying to pass out from the back. And that's the contrast between United and City there. City have the ball around their own penalty box for 2 minutes and just pass it around our press. We have the ball around our penalty box for like 20 seconds and there's a misplaced pass by Wan-Bissaka and it's a throw-in. They look rattled by the booing, says first name. Who's booing who? I don't know what the booing's all about. Ronaldo's apparently got a hip injury. Everybody wants to know. Cavani didn't fancy it. Wasn't fit enough, according to Ragnick, even though he trained a couple of times. He wasn't quite ready. I've never understood that mentality as a footballer as well. I mean, it's easy to say when you just love to play football for a living, but even when I used to play football, I'd never wanted to be injured unless, and look, I hated being injured and absolutely hated being injured. And most injuries I'd play through because I just wanted to play. And Cavani's not the only one. There's a lot of footballers like this that if they just don't fancy it, they think I'm feeling that, I don't want to play. Some footballers, Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, they're a good example at United that they'll just play through the pain barrier because they want to play. But some people just don't want to play. City, a lot of the ball here. Fred and McTominay playing very deep. That back six that served us quite well at the end of last season. Oh, no! 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 Bag of shit! Absolute bag of shit. One cross into the box and it's bloody Kevin De Bruyne. No! What a bloody joke. Absolute rocking horse defending. Made of wood. What are we doing there? How has that happened in the first fucking 5 minutes on the first attack? Bloody hell. It's like someone shit in the pool and everyone's jumped out. Where's the defence? Oh, there's a turn in the pool. Get out. There's a ball in the box. Get out of the box. It's just, there's 5 players here. Who's marking who here? I mean, look, it's a catalogue. I mean, that's got to be the best rule in the world, isn't it? Kevin De Bruyne unmarked on the penalty spot. But there's 3 players. Stop the cross. Stop the bloody cross. Who said it, though? Who said it? Man City put crosses into the box in the ground and United can't deal with it. Bloody Dracula FC. Can't deal with crosses. 1-0 down after 5 bloody minutes. For fuck's sake, man. It's like the worst start in the world. Tell us! Oh, he's offside. It's like the worst start in the bloody world. You can't go 1-0 down after 5 minutes and concede from their first attack. And don't mark Kevin De Bruyne. Defensively, you can't even pinpoint whose fault it is, because Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka should not allow the cross, and Telles and Maguire should be marking up better than that. And also, De Bruyne, I can't even think. I can't even think. I told you, though. I told you. I do think Luke Shaw's a bigger loss than starting Telles, because defensively, I just feel that Luke Shaw's the better fullback. But the cross shouldn't come in anyway. You know, we were talking about this before the start of the game. You know, why has Dalot been taken out of the team? Because obviously Ragnick thinks Wan-Bissaka's the better defender. But you've got to stop the cross at source as well. They're pissing about with the ball on the left-hand side. You've got to stop the cross at source. Have to stop that cross coming in. This is the worst scenario, because now, you know, you don't want to be 1-0 down when you're the part of the bus team. What's Rashford chatting to Mata about? Mate, if you were any good, mate, you'd be on the pitch. So I don't know what you're moaning about what's happening on the pitch. It's a bloody joke. You're not on it. Telles slips it into Sancho. Well, maybe this... Telles with the cross. Go on, Pogba. Oh, I don't think McTominay's played a successful pass yet. Good ball by Maguire out to Sancho. Well done. Have him on toast. Come on, have him on toast. Bruno. Fred! Oh, that was good. Better. Oh, I don't want to look at you smiling about it, Fred. Oh, I was that close. I was that close to scoring. You're losing 1-0, you prat. If you'd have been that close to stopping the cross in the first place. It's not a bloody charity event. It's a Manchester derby. Wipe that smile off your face and bloody score next time. If Ronaldo's fault we conceded, he didn't send a good luck tweet to the team, and look at us as Oz. And this is exactly the Valencia type cross you were talking about, Shiraz. Exactly right. We are terrible at defending crosses across the ground. And you know why? It's because Maguire moves like a statue. And but more importantly, I'll still go back to the original point. Yes, Telles should be marking De Bruyne. But we're bad at blocking crosses as well. Good thing that we keep Liverpool from their 20th title, says James. Mate, I'm not having that. We've not even had 10 minutes. We need to get back into this game. Is Bruno? Well, the only positive is, since we've gone 1-0 down, we've actually had a bit of the ball in their box. I don't think Maguire's massively at fault for the goal. I think it's more Telles, but I think collectively, we're just terrible at dealing with crosses across the ground. And Sharath Kamathvitness said it before the game. United have the potential to win. They just need to actually all work together for once and not greedy and work as a team, says Taj. Well, look, they should have. The reality is with United is that they should have had the kick up the arse before the game. They're 1-0 down now after 5 bloody minutes. And maybe that'll be the kick up the arse. You never know with this team. They're just so unpredictable. Mark, I'm enjoying your reaction. Why were you so passionate? You knew we were going to lose 7-0, has been. Because it matters. I disagree. I think that, if we're going to bloody, it's a Manchester derby. Like, I can't. I've been watching Man United play Man City for over 30 years. I remember Man United playing Man City at Old Trafford, and they had bloody Alf-Inge Haaland in the midfield and Nigel Clough and people like that. They were shite, absolutely shit. And they'd still come and give us a game at Old Trafford. And we'd have people like Roy Keane and, you know, Cantonars and Giggs and Beckham's playing. So in a Manchester derby, it's just something very different. And we should be giving them a game. Here's Fred. Lays it off. Pogba. Oh, he should have had a shot there. If City, Liverpool, Chelsea win the Champions League, does fifth place get the Champions League? No, Max. And same old media agendas. Les Lindelof was poor. Yes, Telles could have closer, but Maguire in no man's land. But you can't blame Harry for anything, says Andrew O'Brien. City, says Khalad. And calling it, McSauce gets sent off in this, trying to show passion, says Rich. Mate, some of our fans would probably applaud him off. Well, just looking at TF Writer on Twitter, he's probably seen the goal more than me. He said Gary Neville saying that Telles should have come across because he had nobody behind him when Mahrez was literally behind him. Maguire had a front row seat for that goal. I think collectively the defending on the goal was shambolic, to be honest. And, you know, everyone's going to have a different opinion on things, aren't they? But for me, I can only speak from De Gea's point of view because he's the only innocent party in the back five. He can't do anything about it. But if I'm De Gea, I'm like, why are we not stopping that cross at source? There's 3 red shirts and he's put a cross in across the ground. You know, sometimes you can't stop a cross in the air because if they get the right angle on and the right whip, it's above you, it's near your hands. How are you going to stop it? But here it is here. Look, there's 3 players, McTominay, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka, and it's crap. The whole back 6 are at fault there. Even Fred's partly at fault. It's a crap goal to concede. And De Bruyne is a midfielder. So Fred or McTominay should be near him. But there's 3 red shirts that don't stop a cross across the ground. You've got to stop the cross at source. And it's lazy as well in the first 5 minutes of a game. If it's the last 5 minutes and you're tired, fine. But the first 5 minutes of the game, and Maguire's going to get a foul there because he's so bloody slow in the tackle. He thinks it's Christmas Day. He's handing out his Christmas presents here. Ronaldo's been awful this game, yeah. And if this was deal or no deal, would you take the 1-0 now and call it a day? Never, never. The contrarian, never, never. You never know. It's never over. What a ball that is by De Bruyne out wide to Grealish. Good tackle by Elanga. Come on. Move it, move it, move it, move it. Bruno. Oh, the ball was over the top twice. That surprises me from Bruno because that ball's on over the top. Elanga down the right and then Pogba through the middle. And he's seen it and he's bloody delayed on it. I'm faster than Maguire and I'm 15 stone, says Nordson 18 reviews. He's coming forward now. He's urged you. I'll shut them up. Captain Courageous riding forward on a Shetland pony with a breadstick sword. I'm going to save the day. Come on, Harry. Prove him wrong. He's taking the piss. I think Wan-Bissaka's having a bad game. Well, what a ball. Good play by Telles, but De Bruyne is there. Good block by Maguire. I told you. Sit down, haters. Good block by Harry Maguire. Mark, opinion on Cheltenham Town. We just won League 2 and now in League 1. We are doing great. Well done, Million Hawk. I didn't know anything about them, but now I do. And is Phelan still at the club? I feel like we never see him anymore, says Marco. If they go to the side of the pitch near the dugout, you'll see Mike Phelan stood next to a wall chewing gum like this. That's normally what he's doing. Got good money for it as well. We need the next goal. If this goes 2-0, we all saw what happened at Old Trafford. They'll just pass us off the park for the rest of the game. Basically giving them a 1-0 lead. Tell you what I want to know. What's Ronaldo doing in this game? It's like he's invisible. Definitely Ronaldo's fault. He's finished. I think Sancho as a striker would have been great, says Ben. I mean, it's hard to know what United are doing. As I said, it's like a 4-4-2 with Pogba and Bruno playing as a front two. We've got Elanga and Sancho putting the shifts in down the flanks to work on Cancelo and Walker. And then we've got Bruno and Pogba playing as like a front two. I mean, that's not a foul. Is that not a foul? Here's De Bruyne. Fred's lost him. Good save, De Gea. Maguire does well. Offside. I think Elanga has been good as well. Look at De Bruyne here. Look how he goes past Fred. Just barges him off. See you later. Good save by De Gea. That's a great save by De Gea. I didn't realise how low he had to go. Could have been a penalty by Maguire there on Foden, you know. I've not even noticed McTominay in this game. Maguire, the mad lad, says Salza. And hi, Mark. Lovely commentary. Always happy to be a member of this channel, says Josh. Thank you very much. And what are we doing, Mark? 6 months ago, we had 6 very good strikers. We have none now. After 35 years supporting United, I'm nearly done, says Thomas. When Phelan stands around chewing gum at work, he's praised, but when I do it at work, I get called a lazy sod, says Oz. Make it make sense. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand. We'll obviously have our player ratings in the second half where you can vote for them on the website. We've got the match reaction as well. We'll have fan vlogs, of course. Arsenal winning today. Currently a point ahead of United. And if United lose today, they'll be a point ahead of United with 3 games in hand, and United have got to go to the Emirates. That's how embarrassing United's situation is if they can't get a result out of this today. Oh, well, at least the Peaky Blinders is on tonight. Ours Hackett, thank you very much for joining the Members Club. No one Man United app notification before kickoff. Clinical finishing some of these successful attempts in the warm-ups. Ridiculous, says Vin. And DJ, thanks for the super chat. I would change Pogba Rashford. We need pace in the attacks, says Binny. I'm sure he will do at some point. I mean, Ronaldo would have started this game, wouldn't he? Mario Franco, comment and say to say De Gea should have done better on the save. Who are the commentators? Stadium is looking full. City must have increased their budget this week, says Upbeat Sarcastic. McTominay just gives a foul away. I'd love to hear what Phelan has to say when asked to compare this squad and the Glory Days squads, says Nick. And hi, Mark. Have no clue what Ralph is doing here. This would have been the perfect game for Rashford to get some confidence back, says Louis. Mate, we've been talking about Rashford and confidence for ages. You know, I don't have a problem with him dropping Rashford. Like, Rashford's been shit this season. I don't think we can start. That's just pure desperation to start saying the mistake was not picking Rashford. You know, we're getting into odd theories then. Lovely ball out to Grealish. Good defending by Wan-Bissaka. Tactically, Ragnick has made it hard for City to play through our team with false nines dropping, says Rowan. Now, here's Pogba. Nice ball out to Sancho. He's up against Kyle Walker. He's going to have Bruno. Oh, go on. Go on, the shot's on. Yes! What a goal, Sancho! Lovely goal against his former club. Cold. That's a cold finish by Jadon Sancho. It's so cold. It's colder than a night swim off the Titanic. 1-1. Former Manchester City player. Bends it in the bottom corner. Woo, we needed that. I told you, Manchester derby. Brilliant, brilliant play by Manchester United on the break as well. Bruno gets in into Pogba, out to Sancho. Bruno makes the overlap run. Sancho cuts inside, bends it into the bottom corner. Ederson's full stretch. He can't do anything about it. And it's 1-1 Manchester United. And as I said, that finish is cold. That's so cold. We're swimming off the Titanic. Manchester United won. Manchester City won. We're back where we were. Lovely finish by Sancho. So cold. Fantastic. Confidence. Hi, Mark. For all half-time, what would you realistically rate our players' value versus the assets the Glazers have? Says DJ. Sancho, says Linko Loud. And Aviation Island, thank you very much for becoming a member of the club. Told you, didn't I? Don't write us off. It's a Manchester derby. We can deliver. And you know what? Maybe that first goal sparks us into action. Maybe that first goal has, made Man City think it's a bit easy. You would slander Rodri if his name was Fred or McTominay after that, says Flawless Football. Mate, shut up. I'm not even a Man City fan. Why do I need to talk about Rodri? McTominay and Fred are shit, in my opinion, and I'm not going to change my opinion on it. But look, I would have picked both of them today. We can get at this Man City side. You can see the numbers we've got getting forward. There's real opportunities. I told you as well, as soon as I saw Grealish playing, I was like, I'm happy. I don't think Grealish is that good. I think it's a major mistake by Pep not picking Gundogan and picking Grealish, but just got to keep doing what we're doing here. Getting the numbers back, protecting the back line, and then hitting them on the break. It's worked for us so many times before. Maguire needs to be careful. Oh, goal kick. We'll have that. Was just going to message this is, but I actually see 4-2-2 working against City, but can we rely on our back forces? Andrew O'Brien. I think Ronaldo would have started in this system. We're basically playing Pogba and Bruno as a front two, who, when we haven't got the ball, get back and swamp the midfield. But remember in the preview, I said tactically I wouldn't have picked Ronaldo anyway. Sometimes you just got to play the game. Pogba's forward positioning is working well, says Alex. Oh, he's at the bar there. Headed by Foden. It would have been a lucky goal. I just absolutely love the time Sancho takes on the ball. This is so refreshing to watch, says Mario. He has quietly improved massively and should play more. It was a great finish by Sancho. Absolutely fantastic finish by Sancho. And you know what? The run by Bruno makes it happen. Bruno sprints as fast as he can to go past him on the left-hand side. Man City have got to go with that run of Bruno, and it gives Sancho the opportunity to cut inside and shoot. Can Foden stop diving, says Flawless Football. And refs hate Arsenal and City and love United and Liverpool, says 58 Go. What are you talking about? Good play by Maguire there. He's bullying Foden as a false nine. Again, I'm not convinced by that choice as well. I think Jesus would have been a better choice, but it could benefit us here. I'm not convinced that Grealish starting was a good idea for City, and they've not really been able to get Mahrez on the ball. They've got to be careful here, though. They've got an overload. Grealish with the shot blocked. City have gone up a gear here now. We need to be a little bit careful. I'd like us to keep the momentum. This is it's an interesting game now. This is a proper derby now. It's clear how Ralph wants to play. Aligning in a philosophy and listening to Ralph is more important than debates on a new coach, says Humphrey. And I think we're looking very solid today, Mark, says FIFA Gangster. City are absolutely pouring down that left-hand side. 66% of their attacks are coming down the left-hand side, 15% coming down the right-hand side. I don't know why they're doing that, but they're getting at Elanga and Wan-Bissaka more than they're going at Telles and Sancho, which is interesting because I think Mahrez could really get at Telles. And again, I think Mahrez is the better side for them to attack because I don't rate Grealish, but, long may that continue. Told you though, Manchester derbies, you just don't know. Lovely touch by Grealish. Cross is good. Maguire reads it. Maguire's not doing too bad at the moment. I mean, he is playing against somebody half his size who's got no pace. So as long as they don't get the ball into the feet of Foden, you'd expect Maguire to be able to dominate Foden. They are. They're just continually coming down this left-hand side. Ooh, good play by Wan-Bissaka there. Need the out ball. Foden! No! Great save, De Gea. Where's the second one? Oh, no! No! Where's the defence, you bloody twats? What are you doing? How many times? How many times are we going to do this? They're running through us like a bloody finish line. You bloody twats. Done it again. They've bloody done it again. How can De Gea make a worldie like that and nobody's there for the second ball? They're bloody idiots. They belong in a museum. They're like bloody statues. What happens here? Foden sends bloody Lindelof back to Sweden. Great save, De Gea. Maguire misses it, blocks it, twats. They just panic. It's like a turd in the pool again. They just shit themselves. The ball's in the box. The ball's in the box. Maguire steps over it. The fuck put it out for a corner. Why doesn't he put it out for a corner? Oh, tell me he doesn't step over this. Foden shoots. Great save by De Gea. I think Maguire... Oh, I can't see now. I can't see whether Maguire just refuses to kick it out. How have we conceded again? I've got to get the answer on that. I despair at this defence. I think collectively both goals are just shambolic. I don't even want to individualise it. I mean, Lindelof gets sent back to Sweden by Foden, but both goals are on the back four. I mean, you just can't. You can't blame De Gea there. He makes a bloody brilliant save, and you're just conceding from twats. Somebody in the defence has got to be. I'm not even giving the excuse of blocks. We've conceded from a low cross into the box where we're not marking anybody, and then it's pinging around like a pinball in the box, and nobody really gets on the end of it, except for him. Henry Moore. It's a tap in for De Bruyne as well. Henry Moore, thanks for the super chat. Wan-Bissaka has been abysmal defensively and offensively, says Jameson. I just don't know how you get back into a game and then concede a shit goal like that. Maguire, the imposter, dummies it right in the danger area. If he dummies it there, he's a bloody dummy himself. I thought it deflected off him. Iram says, Telles and Maguire disgusting defensively, no agility or reaction. Just, well, I need to make some notes for the match reaction here. Whose bloody man is De Bruyne? 2 goals, says Seb. Well, I don't know. in both goals, McFred the nowhere. Yeah, great point. Great point. Just they need selling. Somebody's got to be marking De Bruyne, like, and yet he's had 2 tap-ins. McFred of nowhere, said somebody in the chat there. Don't let Maguire on the bus make him walk, says Oz. Van der Beek kept De Bruyne quiet versus Everton, while McFred fails to do so, says Naveen. Tellers and Maguire disgusting, said Iran. We've done that one as well. The thing is, it's not like Man City. I mean, right, De Bruyne had a good shot. De Gea's made 2 good saves. They've probably had 3 attacks, Man City, and they've scored 2 of them. Look, who's marking De Bruyne again? He's on the edge. He's on the edge of the box, unmarked. Fucking start marking him. Madness. Absolute madness. Mark up. Yeah, the trouble with Maguire is I don't think he had actually been playing that bad in this game. But he plays like, as somebody who suffers with a bad back, he plays like someone who's got a bad back. He's so rigid. It's like everything from his knees up are like they're in a bloody body cast. You know, don't move my neck. He's just so rigid in everything. Oh, I'm a robot. You know, he's just got no agility. He needs about 10 cans of WD-40 spraying all over him to give him some agility. His movement's so static. And I thought Matic was bloody static. He's on a different level. I mean, I don't like him being called a kitchen appliance, but you know, he is very, very, very slow in the movement. And you know what? We're talking about the back 4. Both goals come from a midfielder for Man City. We shouldn't be 2-1 down in this game. If we're playing a back 6. Offensively, 1 goal in the first half an hour at the Etihad isn't bad, but 2 goals conceded. It's a sin. Where's the pet shop, boys? "33 minutes. De Bruyne is left continuously unmarked, says Lord Tanky. 130 million for Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. You could pick those level of players in the Sunday League for free, says Arjun. I wonder why Ragnick wanted a midfielder in January, says Yakov. Can you keep Maguire for a bit longer, please? Lots of love from the other half of Manchester, says W. Parsons. I tell you what, if at half-time I see Harry Maguire dummies that cross, I'm going to lose it. Mark, it's a pity we didn't sign that Van der Beek lad from Everton. He was running that midfield versus City, says Hackerman. And Rangnick got it massively wrong with the tactics. Never seen this much space and time being given to City in a long time, says Grealish. I disagree with that. I mean, you're right. City are getting a lot of space, but I don't know why there's a break in the play here. Midfields don't pick people up, just float around, says Robbo. And look at McTominay in the build-up. Terrible. Looks like a time traveller who can only observe. I think McTominay's been absolutely terrible. I don't know if he's still ill, Jonathan, but he's been absolutely terrible. But, you know, I said it when they scored. Manchester United's midfield and defence gets run past more than a finishing line. Think about what that statement means. But it's true. They get constantly run past. I mean, you've got Harry Maguire there. They're having a little break and he's going, come on, lads, come on, lads. And in my head, I'm like, you've cost us 2 goals, mate. Your defence has cost us 2 goals. I find it hilarious when Maguire decides to go for a jolly with the ball and then promptly proceeds to pass the ball backwards, says Nate H. And Path, thank you very much. And once again, McFred not picking up midfield runs. De Bruyne is still free, as Keita was when we played Liverpool. Well, K-Flow, you know what? We did fear a better side, is a good point to make. That for all the progress and stability that Ralph Rangnick has undeniably brought to this club over the last 3 months, the hardest team we played was West Ham at home. You know, this is the first team we've played that can play football. And I don't think we've done particularly terrible. They've not had chance after chance after chance, but what they have done is just be clinical and expose the fact that if you pick players who aren't good enough, you will get exposed at this level. Doesn't matter how much we pack the midfield, our midfield is not good enough, says David. Exactly. And Ronaldo not in the lineup due to learning to play centre-back would be the best in the air and positional. Lindelof could have recovered 5 to 10 seconds watching on the edge of the box, says Robinson Crusoe. Yeah, well, look, Lindelof got absolutely bantered by Foden on the second goal, if we're being honest. Defensively, it's been a shambles. But, you know, there is a subtle problem here, and it's the fact that De Bruyne has scored 2 goals. Who's marking De Bruyne? Somebody's got to mark De Bruyne. Our midfield think they're at West Ham, floating around in bubbles, says Emily Derry. Could have been prevented if Victor or Scott caught the run. Both ball watching, they need to focus on the wider pitch, not just where the ball is. And if they ever do a reboot of The Wizard of Oz, Maguire should play the Tin Man, says Mikey Mike. I don't laugh at much. I don't feel in a very laughy mood, but yeah, you're not wrong. I can't believe as well, Man City have basically, you know, emailed their tactics to the world. We're going to attack you down the left-hand side, and they just keep doing it. I mean, Mahrez is basically a passenger. They're just not using the right-hand side at all. It's just bombardment down the left-hand side all the time. And United just don't really have anything to respond to it. It's just weird. If we can get our attacks going, we do look a threat, but Ronaldo's fault, yeah. What we got? 7 minutes to half time. United having a bit of possession here. Ronaldo not in the lineup due to... I've done that one from there. Never seen it. Etihad so full, says IQ. Well, you know what? I think jokes about their lack of fans isn't going to wash much anymore, is it? Because United have... we're getting on for 10 years of failure now. Teams... the next generation of fans will start thinking, I want to support a team that plays good football. I don't want to support United just because my mum and dad do. They're shit. I want to support a team that excites me. Oh, McTominay just let the ball drift past him here. What a ball. What a ball to Foden. And he puts it wide. I mean, it's just shambles. Absolute shambles. I think McTominay's still ill. Dreadful half. I genuinely, I'm not joking. I think he's still ill. Like, this is like a Manchester derby. It's Scooby Doo. You know, it's he should be up for this. It's passion. He has been awful, to be fair. Nice ball into Bruno. Shows a bit of pace. Needs a back heel. Back heel. Oh. Finds Alanga. Late off edge of the box to Fred. Go on, Fred. Oh. Yeah, Bruno. Oh. Oh, Sancho! That was a better chance than the goal. Good break from United here. No, Lindelof can do that. It's a lovely ball into the channel to Bruno. He should have back-heeled it to Elanga. He didn't. He still did find Elanga. Lovely ball into Pogba. First time, tried to find Fred. Bruno, Sancho. Oh, I tell you what, it was a better chance. Just didn't catch it right. I don't know why there was a stop in play. Ronaldo used to play left wing for Real Madrid, so Man City are going down the left to pay respects to Ronaldo being dropped, says Pedro. Our midfield compared to City is a joke. Mid-table to lower table midfield is what we have, says Mark Stafford. Well, it's a difficult game when McTominay has been absolutely dreadful. Oh, Grealish against Wan-Bissaka. David De Gea came out. We managed to get it sorted. I don't think he actually, people say they like to see David De Gea coming off his line. I don't think he needed to come off his line there because Wan-Bissaka would win a foot race with, oh my God, here we go again. Mahrez on the left-hand side into De Bruyne. Back to Mahrez. Don't concede before half-time. Corner. All the talk about strikers when this team has absolutely no defensive spine, says Alfie Gator. Where's the energy? Where's the passion? I tell you what, I'll be going mad. I'm going to be going mad at McTominay and Fred at half-time. You get picked for passion. Where is it? We know you're shit footballers, but we at least expect a bit of passion. Where's the passion? Corner for Man City. Maguire wins the header. De Bruyne. Tellers does well. Two minutes to half-time. We're like one of those video ad things. Press play for 3 points, says Iber. And did I fall into a wormhole, Magaluf and McFred, really, in 2022, says AGM. Well, that's because we didn't buy a midfielder, and it's because Varane's injured, isn't it? We have missed Varane massively in this game. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, only 150 subscribers away from 285,000. You're very welcome. We will have a match reaction after this show. You can do your player ratings in the second half. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. As things stand, United would be 1 point behind Arsenal tonight, and Arsenal have got 3 games in hand. The disappointing thing for me is that this is a Manchester derby, and the attitude of some of these players is fucking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's like, as I say, Scott McTominay looks ill to me. Yeah. You got more coins?
Yeah, because I found one at the door.
At the door?
Yeah, and it was one.
Oh, well, want to wash your hands then if you found it near the door. Can you buy a midfielder with that? No. Mark Scott has been invisible. It's like we're playing with 10 men, says EJ. And the defence is trash. Ragnick tactics have been great. The back four is the reason we are losing, says Hector. Good save by De Gea again from Mahrez. I mean, De Gea's made three saves here already. Another corner. Well, we're 2-1 down, and De Gea's made 2 good saves, one from De Bruyne and one from Mahrez. I mean, he made a good save, but it still ended up in a goal, didn't it, with the other one? Maguire wins the header. He'll love that. I've won a header now. That's why I'm worth 80 million. Free kick on Pogba. When United get the ball in the final third around the City box, they look decent. First 2/3, they're average at best, says Andrew81. That's the disappointing thing for me. We're bad with retention, says Moja. Can be seen against Atletico. This causes wins against top teams. Fred and McTominay have to make vertical passes. And does Manure ever do any favours for Liverpool? Your club is driftwood, says False Flag. We're not here to do favours for Liverpool, mate. You're our biggest rival. even if we're no threat to you. Here's Alanga. I mean, I don't think Alanga's been particularly bad. 3 minutes added on. Come on, United, says Kyle. Here we go. I want to see this here. He does. He bloody dummies it. Maguire dummies it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He actually lets it go past him in the penalty box. You just kick it out for a bloody corner, you twat. My God. I mean, it's a good. He's made a good tackle there on De Bruyne. He'll think he's Bobby Moore now. Bloody twat. Absolute joke of a defender. Watch that back at half time. I thought he deflected off him. He lets it go. What's going on in his head? What is going on in his head there? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's going on in his head. I hope the ball's going on in his head now because we've got a corner right before half time. I've got to see that back again at half time. I can't believe he actually sees the ball go past him and just dummies it. Hey, that's a good corner. Edison punches it away. Hit it, Bruno. No. All good. Just take City, man. So thought you'd draw this. Come on, United, says false flag. Hey, mate, we can still get a draw in this, but we've got to start defending better. We've not been too bad on the attack. Oh, good chance there for Tellez. Another corner. On the attack, we look a threat. Defensively, we look a threat. We're a threat to ourselves. Tellez with the cross. Oh, it just hits Maguire again. How can you go like that? How can you go like that? Oh, so 2-1 at half time to Manchester City. I await with interest, watched both those Man United goals back again. I mean, really, thanks, Kyle. We've looked, I mean, I know it sounds stupid. Just let me just say as well, if you want to win an £800 voucher with Boohoo Man, they're sponsoring the show. You can scan the QR code there, or you can do it through the link in the description. It's easy to enter. Just click the link, leave your details, and we'll announce the winner on the Tuesday night show. £800 to spend at Boohoo Man. Fantastic competition. Big thank you to them. Make sure you enter it. You've got to be in it to win it. Also, you can get 40% off with the code United Stand on the website in general, and I'm wearing some of their stuff now. But thank you very much to Boohoo Man. But on with the halftime analysis. I actually will sound like an idiot here, not for the first time, but I actually think when we've attacked, we've looked dangerous. Probably we must have had as many attacks as they have, but we have looked threatening on the attack. We've looked pretty decent, and I think that's something about the Ragnick era, that on the attack in the last few weeks we've looked a lot better. But defensively, collectively, that's a bloody shambles. An absolute shambles. Like they are exclusively attacking our left-hand side, and we're powerless to stop it. And they're doing it on the ground. It's just, you know what, as well. I must just say, I think it's very easy to blame the back four because they're running around like bloody robots. But De Bruyne has scored 2 goals. He's a midfielder. Man City have got a front three. That's Grealish, Foden, Mahrez. That's 3 attackers for 4 defenders to deal with. De Bruyne is not Maguire's man. He is not Tellez's man. He is not Lindelof's man. And he is not Wan-Bissaka's man. The back 4 are there to deal with Grealish and Foden and Mahrez. who in the midfield is leaving De Bruyne as the spare man. And if you're leaving him as the spare man, you've got to if I'm playing holding midfield and De Bruyne is my man and I go off the ball somewhere else, I've got to tell my centre-back I'm leaving De Bruyne. So something's going on badly there. It's the subtle killer, really. It's very obvious that our back four has been a shambles on both goals, but somebody from that midfield is having a stinker because they're leaving De Bruyne. Now, for me, that's McTominay and Fred. People call United inconsistent. We aren't inconsistent. We're consistently rubbish with the odd good performance, as Joshua Bowwater. Being 2-1 down at half-time is not ideal, but that's by far better than the last time we played City. Ralph is doing fantastic. Jordan, I don't want to hear that. That's just defeatist crap. That's like, we're shit, but we're not as shit as we were. Come on. That's not progress. Our first team is being paid more than Man City's first team today. Compare the two 11s. That's crap. Bruno needs to play the ball quicker. He keeps slowing play. Get Matic on for McTominay, says Sean. I believe Rashford should come on. The pace we're playing with will suit him if he's off form, says Electro. And Harry Potter in the chamber of defensive mistakes, says Davies JM. Well, look, I'm really interested to see what happens in the second with these replays of these goals. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner on the road to 285,000. Bruno with a thumbs down and Maguire with a thumbs down, says Jazz. To be honest, I don't really understand the Bruno criticism, because Bruno's got nothing to do with the fact that we've conceded 2 goals and he has been involved in the attack. I agree some of his passing's been a bit off, but I don't think he's been, for me, the big problems on that pitch are Scott McTominay, Fred, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Telles. Those 6 people have cost us 2 goals. And let's not forget, we're 2-1 down, but also separate to the goals, because I know De Gea made a great save from Foden, but they still scored from that attacking action. He's made a great save from De Bruyne and he's made a great save from Mahrez. So, look, De Gea's having a good game. And I think Alanga's been good. Sancho's been good. And I think Pogba and Bruno have been reasonable. But the back 6, who last season could keep a clean sheet easy, can't do it anymore. You're 100% right, Mark. 80% of Man City blocks came from the midfield. City midfielders defend, ours not, says Amar. And also, thanks everyone for that. So, would I make any changes at half-time? I don't think I would. Maguire's been better than Lindelof, says Parker Gast. I mean, is that really something to celebrate? I mean, is that? I mean, mate, Lindelof got sent back to Sweden by Foden. I'm telling you now, we're about to see the replay for both goals. I don't think Maguire feels himself with joy. He made a tackle on De Bruyne. It was like prime Bobby Moore, mate. A tackle is your job. Winning a header is your job. Costing us 2 goals is not our job. It's not your job. And also, let's not forget, he's the captain, so he's meant to organise the back 4. I don't think Lindelof's had a very good half at all, but people forget the captain's meant to organise the team as well. And the organisation there is, who the hell, after the first goal, who's marking De Bruyne? And then it happens again. That should never happen once. And it happens again. So look, they're going to show the first goal here, De Bruyne. So watch De Bruyne. Where is De Bruyne? So Telles should have De Bruyne here, but he can't because he's meant to have Mahrez. So Telles has got to be careful here. Yeah, it's just shambles. They should stop the cross in the first place. They should stop the cross in the first place. Stop the cross at source. McTominay, Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof should stop this cross. There's 3 of them there. They don't stop the cross, and then everyone stood on their toes. 3 United players don't stop a bloody cross into the box. And how is anybody blaming De Gea there? He'd have to have feet longer than a giraffe. How can you blame De Gea on that? There's absolutely nothing he can do. God, if anybody genuinely did blame De Gea on the first goal, football's not for you. Hey, Mark, do you think we should bring Matic on? Well, yeah, I think McTominay's been invisible, mate. Night and day compared to the insipid approach against City under Ollie earlier in the season. Played good attacking football, says Seb. Maguire has been better than Lindelof, says Parker. And can't believe Maguire, the 15th most expensive player in transfer history. Well, they're just showing Sancho's goal, which I thought was fantastic. Bruno makes an intelligent run, which opens up a bit of space. But the goal's brilliant. That's the goal of the game by Sancho. It's so good. Edison just can't get there, fingertips. We have to sort out our pressing in our own box. We have been fluid in City's half. Get Matic on, says Akash. Now this I need to see. The second goal. Where's De Bruyne? Watch De Bruyne. So they win it back. He's Fred's man. Fred stops. Fred fucking stops. Idiots. Fred stops. Watch Fred and De Bruyne. He stands still. Watch Fred. Oh, can't be arsed. De Bruyne just runs past. Look, I can't be arsed. And Maguire dummies the bloody ball. Fucking joke. Absolute joke. Watch Maguire here. What's he doing? He lets it, dummies it. He bloody lets it go through his legs. He does. I thought he deflected it. What is he doing? Why is he dummying it in his own penalty box? Just kick it out. What's he doing? My God. So Fred gives up on De Bruyne. That's disgusting by Fred. Absolutely disgusting by Fred. And then Maguire dummies the bloody ball. De Gea makes a great save and he steps over it. Boot it out for a corner. Bloody hell. That is a joke. I'm disgusted with that. So I've got a tweet. It's my therapy. Fred stands still. Leaves De Bruyne. And Maguire dummies the ball instead of kicking it out. I just I had to do that. I just need a couple of seconds there because I'm telling you what, this is playground defending. This is the sort of defending, you know, when you're playing in the playground at school. Not that I don't do it anymore, not for about 30 years, but when you used to play in the playground at school and you want to play 5-a-side because 3 against 3 is not enough, so you get 4 crap lads to come and play. That's what Fred and Maguire have done there. That's like the 2 crap lads. And you know, when you were playing and they did that, you go, well, at least they're making it 5v5. Like, I just can't get over how bad that is. What did we talk about in the preview? A 90-minute game of total concentration and effort. And Fred just goes, it's the lack of concentration. No mention of Lindelof on the second one, says Emma. No, mate, I tell you what, tune into the watch-along and don't come at half-time and swivel on that. I said 3 times Lindelof got sent back to Sweden. I've said it. But what I wanted to watch on that second goal was 2 things. Who was watching De Bruyne? Fred. And did Maguire dummy it? Yes. I'd already said this. If you were watching the first half, you'd know I said in the first half, Lindelof's been sent back to Sweden 3 times. But I also said, I'm looking forward to seeing the goal at half-time because I want to see if Maguire does dummy it and also want to see who's marking De Bruyne, of which neither involve Lindelof. So there we go. Maguire is sucking... What? He's doing what? Maguire is sucking everyone in because he can't handle his own man. I'm done with Maguire. The board sabotaged Ralph with no midfielder in January, says Hector. No, I think it's fair. I think the previous person has a great point that, you know, collectively, the whole Tellez is at fault for the first goal as well. Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka should be stopping the cross, as should McTominay. On the second goal, Lindelof's got to do better against Foden as well. Collectively, the whole back four has been a joke, apart from, well, De Gea's not in the back four. I think De Gea's had a good game. But yeah, Fred and McTominay as well. Not good enough. Not good enough by a long way. Welcome to Members Club J7. The lack of presence in the midfield from McFred is laughable. I don't know how you Man United fans can watch this each week. You know what, Darcy? It ends up you end up getting accused of having an agenda against McTominay and Fred if you can criticise them. I've been doing it. Many other fans have been doing it for about 18 months now. They're bloody useless. But what'll happen is they'll have one good game against Leeds, and then it's like my midfielder, and oh yeah, I love his smiley face. You know, it's like they're shit. They are absolute shit. They are nowhere near good enough to play in the top 8 of the Premier League, but they put in a good performance every now and again, score a goal against Burnley, and it's like, oh, they're good enough. This is where you find out whether players are good enough. If you score a goal against Burnley, great. Can you play well in a game like this? Can you play well consistently? And the answer is no. And they've ghosted in this game. They have. Of course, it's easy to see that the back four have been at fault for both goals, but then you think, well, why is De Bruyne scoring? And it's because they're not picking up the man. Both CDMs need to come off. Don't care. We don't have replacements for them. Better off without them, says Kevin. They said Maguire can't play tiki-taka. Look at him for City. What a joke. Get out of our club. Who signed this guy, says John. And what would you ask Maguire if you had the chance to interview him, says Jazz? I don't really have a problem with Harry Maguire. I have a problem with the people who keep picking him, who gave him the captain's armband. I have the problem with the people who, thought it was a good signing. I have a problem with people who keep picking McTominay and people keep picking Fred and thought it was a good idea not to buy a midfielder. I mean, ultimately, this, we can all moan about the players, but ultimately, realistically, this has been going on for a long, long time. And it comes down to recruitment. It comes down to the vision of the football club. Good tactic to play Pogba and Bruno up front, 4-4-2 out of possession. Only if we had the players. Pep was surprised as Akash. I think offensively, we've not been that bad. Defensively, we've been disgusting. That's where this game has truly sort of is slipping away from us. The next goal's key, because if Man City get it, they'll just keep passing the ball about all the time, and they'll end the game. How do we fix it in the second half? Says Matty. I think some people would say bring Rashford on. I certainly think if there's 20 minutes to go, it's worth chucking Rashford on for Elanga. I think the problem with taking off Pogba or Bruno is that they are tracking back a lot when they don't have the ball. I quite like the idea of bringing Matic on for McTominay. To be honest, that would be it. Matic has to come on because we've lost control of that midfield, and this would be terrible for Leyton Orient. This would be terrible for Solihull Moors. This would be terrible for Salford City. If you're at half time and you've left De Bruyne for 2 tap-ins, De Bruyne won't believe it. He'll be like, I can't believe I've been left free twice like that. He can't miss those types of chances. The sad thing is, last game against Watford, the defence was great and the attack was horrible. This time it's the opposite, says Iram. And well, let's just see what happens in the second half. I'm just looking at some of my pre-match notes here, and it's all over the place. It really is. No, I'm all right. Thanks, mate. How are we doing on the others? Okay. How much we miss Varane, says Akash. Well, we were always going to miss Varane. I said this last night and I said it this morning. If you look at both goals, does Varane not stop the cross like Lindelof, or does he stand on his heels like Maguire? No. You look at the second goal, does Varane get done by Foden like Lindelof, and then does he let the ball go through his legs like Maguire does? No. So both of those goals might have been preventable if he'd played. But I've said about Varane, I've been talking about Varane for two weeks now. I think there's an issue with Varane. I think that he's carrying an injury that is going to probably maybe get him where he's in a situation where, and I know it's COVID this time, but I do wonder whether it's COVID this time, but I worry about Varane. I think he has got injury issues. I worry about first 10 minutes of the second half, says Matty, a Red Devil. Yeah, well, we've been bad in the first 10 minutes of the second half, so let's hope. Lindelof's having a bad game because he's having to worry about Maguire doing his job right, whereas when he plays with Varane, he can trust him, says Bradley. We need to know. We don't read that out, Victor. Mark, how is it that nobody sees Maguire and McFred never picks up a man in and out of the box? Sancho had Rodri to deal with as first line of defence, as AJ Singh. Look, I think I said it at some point in the first half. United's defence and midfield get run past more than a finishing line. And it's true. They just don't pick up the runners. And this has been going on for 18 months. We don't pick up the runners. We're still very much in this. We need to avoid our customers post-half-time lull. We can win this, says Humphrey. Look, I don't think that sounds stupid. It's a Manchester derby. The intensity is there from United. And if we can just keep that if we can find some quality through the whole team, we can build our way back into this. The next goal's key, obviously, that's a cliche, but Man City desperately need to win. If we get a goal back, they're gonna go for the win, and we might be able to get a winner ourselves. But first of all, we've got to get back level. And we did that. We've had 2 times in this game where we've had the platform to build a good result. It's 0-0 at the start of the game. You're not losing 1-0. You get back 1-1 with a good goal, and then you concede another bad goal. We've got to stop conceding bad goals. But It just seems as soon as Varane comes out of that team, we start hemorrhaging silly goals. Oh yeah, sorry, we're 40 seconds into the second half. And here they come down the left-hand side again. It's Grealish. Probably 2 seconds ahead. That'll be right now. So no subs at half-time, which is brave. I would have brought Matic on. Considering we've got a week off as well, it's not like we're going to start Matic on Wednesday. We're not playing till next Saturday, so 6 days off. Still think Rooney can come and change this game, says Thomas. And Lindelof caught ball watching on the edge for the second one. This partnership is a jokes, says Ivan Scully. Farabi is a Wally as well, apparently. Can you imagine if we had a decent CDM, the back four always exposed? Glad we're going for it, says Faisal. Well, if we had a decent CDM, I think it would be 1-1. I don't think the first goal is hard. I mean, the first goal, Telles should be marking De Bruyne. You can question why the midfielder aren't, but that's Telles' man. But the second goal, if you had a decent CDM, one of them's going to go with Fred. And here he is. Lindelof's got this, surely. Back to De Gea. Nice little ball into Wan-Bissaka. And we build again. That's a shit ball by Wan-Bissaka, though. Oh, what's he doing, Wan-Bissaka? De Bruyne! Bloody hell. Wan-Bissaka's having a nightmare. Delos must be going, why did I get dropped? What's Wan-Bissaka doing there? A bad pass and then a terrible bit of play. Foul by Bruno on Laporte. Bissaka might have the worst ball control in the Premier League, says Ziggy. Well, I just don't know what he's doing here. Very lucky there. But it goes back to what we were talking about in the chat. I like Wan-Bissaka. He's going through a very bad period at United at the moment. But I don't actually know what Delo did to get booted out of the team. Because he was doing well, he was growing confidence, and then he's just booted out of the team, and you just wonder what it is. Oh no, good block, McTominay. It's Grealish. The day we signed Maguire, you called him an amazing signing. He was a Man United legend. Some of us never wanted him. He wasn't one of them, says usual suspect. Oh, shut up. Shut up, you twat. What are you talking about? Something about 3 years ago. I don't train the guy. I don't make him shit. Loads of people thought Maguire was a good signing. I thought Sanchez was a good signing. Do you want me to go through a list of signings that I thought were good signings that weren't? I thought Falcao was a good signing. I'm not in charge of this club, mate. So I don't know what points you're trying to score, but I can't jinx results. I don't pick the team, and I'm not responsible for United being crap for 9 years. Oh, McTominay, what you doing? McTominay, what you doing? Foden's won it off Wan-Bissaka, and thank God he passes it wide for a goal kick. What are we doing? How has McTominay come out for the second half? How is he not swapped that? He's all over the place. He's absolutely all over the place. And I genuinely am not having a go at McTominay for being crap. I don't think he's that good, but I actually think he's ill. I wouldn't be surprised if they said, fair play to Scott. He literally was in bed this morning ill, and we gave him a Lemsip, and he said, "I'll play," because he looks absolutely miles off. Has he trained this week? Scooby-Doo, sponsored by Lemsip. It's wearing off. Get him a cup of Lemsip again. 4 hours passed. Wan-Bissaka's not played well as well. There's a lot of people going on about Wan-Bissaka, but that's obviously why I've got it down in my notes anyway. They've targeted Wan-Bissaka. I've never seen a team go down one side of the pitch as much as this. Kyle Walker and Mahrez must be really upset. They're like the You know, they're like the sibling that's not the favourite, because they're just not getting any of the ball at all. It's all coming down the left-hand side, although they're coming down the right-hand side now. And it does surprise me, because Mahrez is, I think Mahrez is a fantastic player, and I think Tellez is suspect defensively. So I'm quite surprised that they haven't gone down that side. They are down that side at the moment. But United's response in the first 5 minutes of the second half is wet. It's weak. We've not done anything on the attack yet. Good tackle that by Cancelo on Alanga, because he could have been in. That's the ball. Bruno and Pogba, they know that that's the ball. Here we go. Alanga's in. No, he's not. I do think we can turn this game around, and I do still think we can win this game. I know that sounds idiotic, but I do. I think if we can get to 2-2, City so need to win this game that they'd open up even more than they are. And they are open on the break. So just need to keep our heads up and focus and concentrate. Skibby-Doo. Good tackle. Good ball by Skibby-Doo. Into Bruno. Oh, I don't know. That needed to be a cutback cross, Bruno. You need to cut that back. Well done, Tellez. Our biggest issue is 3 or 4 players in core positions in the team can't pass, control the ball, and all our attacks break down with them, says the Closet NYC. And what will the excuse be to keep on starting Maguire and Wan-Bissaka over Varane and Lindelof and Dalot, says Jameson Gray. And now every attack on Aaron Wan-Bissaka's side, I would really prefer Dalot. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is bad, really need to bench him. Again, at least Dalot offers something in attack, says Varane. Well, they're coming down that side again. Bruno only makes the hard passes successfully. He's too casually on the easy passes, says Rathmath Fitness. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. Don't forget, Boohoo Man, £800 voucher. You can enter through the link in the description or through the pin chat. And we've got a QR code that will flash up in a few minutes as well. £800 voucher. All you've got to do is click the link and enter, and we'll be announcing the winner on Tuesday evening show. £800 to spend at Boohoo Man. I'm wearing some of their active range at the moment, and you can get 40% off with the code United Stand. Thanks very much to Boohoo Man. Fantastic competition to enter there. Let's hope we're not going to be boohoo men ourselves or women tonight. We must practice pointing a lot rather than doing, says Clive Roberts. Imagine what Bailly must be thinking. I mean, could anyone be as bad as Maguire at the moment, says Aram. I mean, the thing about it is he's not been terrible in some aspects of his game. You know, he has made blocks. He's made a couple of tackles. But then, look, Mahrez there. Look at how Maguire deals with this here. He's the last man against Maguire. I hope they show this shot again, because this is the issue. You know, he's absolutely done here. He's got Mahrez coming at him, and I think he just turns his back. Watch. Goes to Mahrez. What does Maguire do? Turns his back, and he's gone. And then he's turned his back, and it's heavy load turning. He's just gone. And Mahrez is basically shot, and somebody else has had to block it. Well, up there. That's a good header by Maguire. See, some aspects of his game have been fine. Imagine, I've literally screamed at the TV, "What are you doing, mate?" countless times every time Bruno loses the ball, says Hader. But then a cross comes in there and he wins it really well, because that's what he's good at. He's good in the air, but on the floor, he's like a mattress. Oh, that's not a foul on Bruno. I don't know why you've gone down there. Foden. Queuing up. Bloody hell. We've got to be careful here. That third goal for City, they can smell it. A few people saying, Bruno, get up. Well, we've seen that happen a lot over the last 2 years, where we concede goals because Bruno loses the ball and goes down like he's been fouled, and he hasn't. Jack says the centre of our pitch is being bypassed too easily. I just can't believe how much they've got at us down that left-hand side. I mean, it's unbelievable, really. Kick to City here. Oh, again. I mean, that's terrible, that is. With the free kick, they've just rolled it to the edge of the box, and there's no one there. What are we? What? I do wonder. I do wonder what we're meant to be. Like, nobody on the edge of the box for that. If he puts that in the top corner, that's a goal. That is just terrible. Francisco says we literally haven't had the ball this half. I think that one chance where Bruno could have put a cross in is all we've done in the first 10 minutes. Jay's just messaged me saying that why have we given Kevin De Bruyne the freedom of Manchester? I don't know what happened there. We had a goal kick and now it's a corner. I was just, that's what happens when you look at your phone. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Goal kick to corner. So De Bruyne's on it. Little dinky cross. Headed away by Scooby-Doo. Fred standing still again. And a foul on Maguire. Rashford's warming up. Well, we just need to go long ball, don't we? "15 minutes gone." What's Rashi going to do? Well, long ball over the top. Stones might slip. Good interception by Fred and McTominay there. Where's your pass then? Oh, here we go. Alanga. Oh, nearly an own goal. Corner. That was better. They double-teamed Foden there, and Fred wins it. McTominay wins it. Fred gets it, plays it into Alanga, and to be fair, Cancelo nearly scores an own goal. It's a good tackle. Corner to United. Come on, Maguire. This is where you can, you could be famous. Harry Maguire from a Tellez cross. I think we're going to go short. We've gone short. Bruno doesn't work. All the way back to the keeper. City on the attack. De Bruyne into Mahrez. It's a foul on the edge of the box by Fred. It is a foul. I don't know what we're complaining about. Reckless Fred on the edge of the box. What can you say? It is a foul. Fucking Fred again. Don't go give him a good player rating because he's been smiling a lot. I know he's a likeable guy, but so's the postman, and I wouldn't have him playing in our midfield. This is a dangerous position, right on the edge of the box, but not central, and they've got players who can whip it either side. Mahrez can put it around one side. De Bruyne can put it around the other. If they put this on target, I think this is a goal. Fred's been decent, you see. Nathan's fallen for the smile. Nathan's wooed. Oh, I just love Fred and his lovely little smile. He's cost us a goal. Our cross has never beat the first man, says Jameson. Mate, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video when I can be asked of corners. Because the great thing about corners is it doesn't matter whether you do it on the park pitch or at the Etihad. It's the same bloody ball. Free kick. De Bruyne, straight at the keeper. No, I never ask that again, please. Or you'll be blocked. Maguire's terrible distribution. Okay, hat-trick incoming. It was straight at the keeper, thank God. Right, here's Pogba. Switch it. Lovely switch of the play out to Alanga. City have got plenty of players back here, but United are swarming. Alanga play. Oh, I think you'll be coming off for that, mate. Oh, Maguire, you're bloody rubbish. You're going to get booked there, mate. 100%. He's so late in this tackle. He's so late in this tackle. He thinks he's playing Watford. He thinks he's tackling Sarr here. He's so late. Dear, oh dear. What can you say? I'll blame Ronaldo. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, hopefully we can get back into this game. But if we don't, Ronaldo's won by not playing. Because I actually think if Ronaldo had played, he would have been crap. Lingard and Rashford. Dun, dun, dun. It's the youth. It's the youth. It's the youth. Lingard and Rashford. So this will be interesting. Who's he going to take off? Because it's not going to be Fred or McTominay. Langer and Pogba probably. Maybe Bruno. Maybe Sancho. Pogba. Yeah. I don't know what Pogba's done. Taken off. I really don't know. I mean, look, I love Bruno. If you're taking one of them off, it's got to be Bruno. I don't know what Pogba's done wrong. Maguire's genuinely so damaging to this club. He's awful, not good enough to be a top 6 player. There's never been a worse captain in our history, says Nick. Can we rate De Gea on his distribution? He's been amazing for us this season, but distribution has been awful. I don't know what you're talking about, Arjun. I mean, I'm not having this chat about De Gea's distribution because has it got any reason to do with why we're losing this 2-1? Has it got any reason why we're not in the top 4? As I said, it's like talking about Christmas presents when your team's, when a family member's seriously ill. Like, what are you talking about Christmas for? Why are you talking about Christmas presents? Like, I don't get this De Gea thing. It's got sod all to do with this game or why we're not in the top 4. People seem to want, it's like, you're trying to solve a problem that's so low down the list. Why do you think they never managed to cross a strong high ball in the penalty area, says Jameson Gray? What do you think about Pogba coming off anyway? Pogba's been poor, says Cart. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to get a goal. We're losing 2-1. I understand that. You know, taking McTominay off for Matic won't. There's Richard Arnold sat next to David Gill, if you wonder who that person with the beard was. Yeah, taking McTominay off for Matic, as much as it needed to happen, it won't get you a goal. We need a goal. So I can see why he's made 2 attacking subs, and he's probably going to leave his third one as an attacking one as well. But Alanga for Rashford's always going to happen, isn't it? If we can catch them on the break, it might work. The team and these players are uncoachable. We deserve the Europa spot, says Varron. It's not over yet, Varron. It's not over yet. Mark, if you notice when De Gea shoots long, we always lose possession, and then we play from the back, we lose as well, says Troy. Bring on Rashford to get long balls, take off Pogba's best long passing. Seems legit, says Cantona. And Arnold's just a crap Woodward. I'm not going to say what you said, Nick. Great. 25 minutes to go. And Paolo says, I couldn't give a toss about De Gea's distribution. I want a keeper to stop the ball going in the net, and De Gea is amazing. Maguire and McTominay are terrible. This is Paolo. Mendy and Ederson get to pass to Jorginho, De Bruyne and Bernardo. De Gea's options are McFred, for goodness sake. Well, here's Grealish. Gives it wide. Cancelo, another corner. I know the other players are awful, but he just can't give out the ball from the back to a City player, which then Fred gave a free kick on the edge, says Arjun. And time for Ollie ball, long ball, run behind the defence, says Legion. We'll be releasing player ratings in a bit. Anyway, you can mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average in a moment or two. I wouldn't have took Pogba off Richard as well. I wouldn't have took him off. If I'm honest, I wouldn't have brought Lingard on. 3-1. 3-1. Mahrez. I just don't know what our problem is with marking players. Again, they warned us with this on a free kick. Mahrez on a free kick 5 minutes ago was left free on the edge of the box, and they've done it again. We just don't mark players. We do not mark players. We're like COVID FC. We think Man City, we still think it's social distancing. He's on the edge of the box, unmarked. I think De Gea probably should have done. Well, he can't see. He can't see. Lindelof's blocked it. Or Maguire. No, Maguire's deflected it in. Fucking great. That's why he can't save it. It goes off Maguire's knee. Fucking hell. Social distancing defending from Manchester United. How many more players are we going to leave unmarked? That's it. That's the game. Just fucking hell. "20 minutes ago, wow, we ain't scored. We're not scoring 2, are we?" To be fair, everybody who said when the team news came out that we didn't have Varane, we were going to lose this game, absolutely spot on. I expected more in a Manchester derby, which is meant to be a leveller. I expected more from a team that earns more than Man City's first team does. I can't believe how little we've marked players. De Bruyne has scored 2 goals unmarked. Mahrez, literally about 5 minutes ago, nice ball into Rashford, had... Go on. Oh, what's he fucking... He just won't pass Rashford, will he? Just won't pass. Yeah, Mahrez about 5 minutes ago, they had that free kick on the edge of the box. They passed it to the edge of the box and he had a shot just over the bar. And if it had been on target, it would have been a goal. 5 minutes later, we leave him unmarked again. They've just got no brains. Defensively, they just don't get it. We've got too many players who shouldn't be playing even in the Premier League. They just don't understand the core principles of marking players. Just don't get it. Like, so many chances today are all preventable. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy that you can not mark a player at this level. Stunning. Just absolutely crazy. I had to get up because my TV was going to go into standby mode. It's had enough. Wants to put Peppa Pig on. Maguire is the worst, as Eric Barron. Well, on the goal there, to be honest, I was about to say De Gea should save the third one, but it deflects off Maguire's knee. David De Gea, Harry Maguire is the hardest opponent I've ever faced, says Skive, and there should be no recourse for Maguire. He doesn't have the ability or mentality. He's not a United player, period. Needs to be sold in the summer, says Julian. That went off the fridge door. Maguire is beyond awful, says Nick P. I guess that's it then. Game over, says Lincoln. Mark, I'm done. Wake me up when the Glazers are gone. I just watched the United stand. Why bother with the club, says Sumi. How come Maguire tried to throw his legs out? If the ball is going closer to him, he should just be solid, says Tanvir. And I'm just worried what might happen in the next 20 minutes now, because Man United have bottled this. Good save De Gea from Mahrez. This could get embarrassing now. What I want to see in the last 20 minutes is a bit of bloody passion for the shirt. I mean, I know we haven't seen... I mean... Look, McTominay's just been bypassed there. Where is the midfield here? They're just running. It's 5 against 4. It's a 5 against 4 situation there. Where's Fred? Where's McTominay? They've just given up. Don't let the midfield off in this game. They've been absolutely shambolic. Let's get ready for these players to offer their apologies on Twitter, says Anshaman. Well, let's get ready for training on Tuesday. You know, winning team. Matic. We're miles away from City, says Lee. We are miles away from City, Lee. I completely agree. But the greatest point about that is we are miles away. But it's the effort that we're miles away from. You know, mark your players. Go with your runners. That's not about being tiki-taka. Look at Man City. I noticed this with Man City about 2 years ago. They changed under Pep. He turned them into a team that could win 1-0 and 2-0 a lot. They, you know, I noticed it with Gundogan. He was scoring goals in the penalty box, but then he's the first man to get back and make a tackle in his own box. The work rate of teams like Man City and Liverpool is unbelievable. We fail on 2 levels because we don't have the ability, but we also don't have the work rate. Like, we just don't work hard. Watch the second goal. Fred doesn't go with De Bruyne. Watch that goal. Watch the third goal. Nobody can be asked to mark Mahrez. We just time and time get run through. And that's not about ability. I'm telling you now, you could take McTominay and Fred out of that team today, and you could put Birmingham City's 2 midfielders in, and they'd probably do a better job because they'd probably pick their runners up. I don't know what Sherwood sees in Maguire. I don't see it from a leadership or ability standpoint, says Dablu. Well, just check my tweet I've just put out on @MarkGoldbridge. It will say exactly what I think about Maguire. Regarding my message earlier about McSauce getting sent off, I'd rather that now because at least he put a touch on an opponent, says Rich. I think this is McTominay's worst performance of the season, when I actually would have put money on him having a good performance, because he's from the youth. He understands what it is, you know, playing for Manchester United in Manchester. He understands that, you know, I don't have this. A lot of you won't have this. If you don't live in Manchester, losing the derby is a big, big thing to do. And people like McTominay will understand that. And he's put in An absolutely crap performance. I wouldn't even say he's a Premier League player based on this. Imagine waking up early in the US, says Nathan Riley. The problem is, I think anybody could have envisaged Manchester United losing to Manchester City today. I don't think that's beyond doubt. But it's the way that we've lost. When we got back to 1-1, I was like, we could get a result here. Spurs got a result here. I think Man City, you can get at them. But I think we've been so bad defensively as a team that we've ended up being dominated when actually I do think there are certain teams in the Premier League that would have given Man City a game today. I think Brighton on their day, I know they're crap at the moment, but, any team that can pass the ball would have given Man City a good game today. Any team that can pass the ball and put the defensive work in would have given them a good game today. But we've just been so bad. And the amount of times they've attacked us down this side is embarrassing. Wholesale needed changes, says Andreas. This team is pathetic. I'd keep 4 players out of this team. Disgraceful. Not about the manager anymore. Everton were more of a challenge for City compared to us, says Ragnick. I mean, that's the point I was trying to make in a bad way. We should have, we could have. Happens every game. We're just not good enough. This is not a team, but a group of not good enough individuals, says Mario Franco. Careful with your latest tweet, Mark. Joe Maguire might reply and delete again. Yeah, he hasn't got the balls, Julian. He's waiting for the next goal from Harry to come and have a go at me, isn't he? Because ultimately, it's his brother, and I get that. But ultimately, he ain't a Man United player, is he? And we're allowed to say that. He ain't a Man United player. Like many of those players, to be honest. It's not just Maguire, McTominay, Fred. It's not good enough. And there's more. They're just not good enough. I mean, Lingard's not good enough either. I don't know why he's put Lingard on the pitch. They're going to score now, but I don't know why Maguire's on. I don't know why Lingard came on. I don't know why we took Pogba off. I don't get that. And you know what? The best thing is that Ronaldo, that injury you've got, mate, is probably the best thing in the world. Just said it on Twitter there. Ronaldo missing this game is the best thing he's done this season. Fans can open their eyes and see we're shit with or without him. And that's the truth. This whole Ronaldo's the problem thing. You're an idiot if you've ever said that. Ronaldo may well be a problem. He should have scored goals last week, but people just want to put it on one player. This problem runs far deeper than Ronaldo. 12 minutes to go. What is our set piece coach doing? Both attacking and defending set pieces is just like watching amateurs, says CP. Phil says, Mark, you can't teach attitude. We have toxic players who don't give 100% that need to get out, says Phil. Taking Pogba off was a joke, says Ray. And what is that? We've done that one as well. Arnold witnessing this absolute shambolic mess that him and the board have created. Hopefully this is a wake-up call to to the work that's needed in the summer, says Dan. Yeah, I mean, Gundogan's coming on now. I was very surprised that Gundogan didn't even start. I think Gundogan is a player that I rate a lot, and they've not even had to pick him today. And De Bruyne is going to come off, and they're not even worried about giving De Bruyne a hat trick. They're not even worried that United are going to come back. It's just ridiculous. So I saw someone in the chat saying Spurs is a must-win game next week. Well, every game's a must-win game for us, but we need to win. Even if we win every game, we still need Arsenal to collapse. That's the thing. Yeah, of course, Spurs is a must-win game, but it's not in our hands. You can do your player ratings, by the way, unitedstand.com. I'm just about to drop the link in the video description as well. It's on the second paragraph. Below, you might need to refresh, or you can just go to unitedstand.com, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Grealish has actually had a good game. I personally thought that he was the player that was their weakest link in their attack, and they've used him consistently. 10 minutes to go, and United are just, it looks more like Man City are going to get the fourth. And there's a man on the edge of the box again, Cancelo. What a save by De Gea. What a shot by Cancelo. Oh, we're just given up. They have literally given up. They've given up the ghost. There's a spare man all the time, and it's like we've had somebody sent off. Can somebody remind me when we had somebody sent off in this game? The marking's terrible. And I presume that's Lingard's man who just wants to stay up front for a goal. It's a good day for Arsenal. Was given the free kick on Bruno. You're going to get booked, mate. Look at this technique from Cancelo. Oh, it's lovely. Good save by De Gea, but to be honest, if that had gone in, it's not going to make a massive amount of difference now, is it? But lovely technique by Cancelo. It's wave after wave of City at the moment. Oh, Maguire's fell over. Good play by Sancho. The scary thing is, and a lot of people have said this, I'm beginning to wonder why we even bothered complaining about the manager. The board is the common denominator throughout the club, says Cormac. Also, instead of trying to fix the mistakes of this game, the social media team will just say we go again, says No Name. We were talking about this, though, a couple of weeks ago. Oh, my God. Good tackle by McTominay. We were talking about this, though, a couple of weeks ago. What is Rashford doing there? John Stones just took the piss out of him. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, though, weren't we? The scary thing is that we've been talking about how good we are defensively. And I don't know what the stats are for this game, but we have spoken about how good we are defensively. Not me, not you, but Ragnick's spoken about it. Players have spoken about it. Pundits have spoken about it. Oh, we've improved. We've improved defensively, but I think Man City have had about 20 shots on goal, and they've scored 3 goals. And De Gea's arguably man of the match. He's made 3 really good saves in this game. In fact, I think De Gea is man of the match, isn't he? Because we've done nothing second half. I thought Sancho was quite good in the first half, but I'd probably say De Gea is man of the match. But for all this good defensive play that we've played, we've not really played anybody decent. And now we play somebody good, and the defence falls apart again. So all this, oh, yeah, we're a better defensive side. I don't think we are a better... I mean, McTominay there, look at him. What is that? What is that from Scott McTominay? Passion. He fouls him and then tells him to F off. Get in the bloody bin, mate. That's not a Man United player. I'm meant to get excited about. Why don't you go and push somebody at Old Trafford again? Ooh, passion. I'm fed up of it. People champion this crap. Oh, he gave him a push. Oh, he swore at him. He's made a bloody career off that. Just push somebody around with a bit of passion. It's bullshit. It belongs at Stoke 10 years ago. And we champion this bollocks. Oh, he's made a last-ditch block. Oh, that's great. He's made a sliding tackle in the rain. Oh, passion. My midfielder. Piss off. You can take him and you can go and bloody play in the Championship. Fed up of these jokers. City fans enjoying it. You know what, though? The scary thing is, I don't even get irritated by City fans doing that. You know what I get irritated by? Our players and the club. It's an embarrassment. And I hope Richard Arnold's watching these City fans do this, because it's embarrassing. It's an absolute embarrassment. And you know what our fans will do? They'll spend all week arguing with each other. There'll be some tweet that somebody's done that they won't like as a they're not a proper United fan. We are a bunch of twats as a football club and as a fan base. And I include myself. We spend so much time arguing about who's the proper fan, who's this, who's that. And the Glazers just keep making money and other clubs keep making a joke out of us because we all have to argue with each other because we won't sort out what's actually wrong with this club. You know, Richard Arnold sat watching this. He's not even a United fan. He's not even a football man. He bloody worked with Ed Woodward. He was at uni with Ed Woodward and Matt Judge. They came into this club because they helped the Glazers buyers, basically. And now he's in charge as well. It's a bloody farce. How thick are we as a fan base that we just let these issues carry on? And we think that this is going to change in the summer if we get Ten Hag. Ragnick's a good coach. He's still getting destroyed because he's got crap players. Ten Hag won't get us winning the league with this lot. Doesn't matter who the manager is. We're not going to win the league with this lot. They're crap. And some of these players, who's going to buy Harry Maguire? Who's going to buy Fred? Who's going to buy Scott McTominay? Fred's out of contract in a year. Last 15 minutes, 92% possession. Scumbags, disgrace. You're 3-1 down in a Manchester derby and they've got 92% possession. That's just giving up. That's giving up. Fred's out of contract in a year. We're going to give that joker a new contract. He's been shit this season. Absolutely crap. Pep wouldn't even start him and he'd get rid of him. We'll give him a new contract. We'll give him a new contract because we want to retain his value. Where's Rashford going now? Look. Nowhere. Oh, actually, it wasn't a bad cross. What has Delo done now? Why isn't he playing? Says Anjish. These players embarrass us on a weekly basis and now it's come all predictable. Doesn't he hurt anymore? Says Aram. The worst thing is Man City didn't do much. We literally gave it to them, says Brandon. Omar says, get rid of the whole defence and English players. Absolutely disgrace. If I was Ferguson, I'd walk out the stadium right now. Disgraceful, says Omar. And much more darker days ahead if rumours are to believe. The budget is 50 million, says Ren H. McTominay's a Burnley midfielder, not United standard. Give him to Deitch, says Carl. I don't think Deitch would want him. "21 shots to 5. Man City. This second half is a shambles. Absolute shambles. Rodri. Oh, there's no one marking anybody. Again, Gundogan should score. You know what it is, though? They're weak. They're just weak mentality players. Like, they've given up. They've literally given up in the last half an hour. They're weak mentality players. This has been our worst second half performance all season. They should lose their wages, says Marcus. I just can't believe that even at 2-1, we weren't doing anything. 3-1, we do even less. You know, if we'd have got a goal somehow with 10 minutes to go, you know, you lay siege to the goal. Our season will be over when we lose to Atletico 10 days' time, says Sarab. And this has been, well, I mean, I suppose at least we've got Champions League football. Gundogan just runs past Fred and McTominay. 4-1. Is he offside? He's offside. That would have been embarrassing. That would have been icing on the cake for the embarrassment there. I just can't believe how Gundogan just steps away from Fred and McTominay here. He's offside. He is offside. The players are finally on a level with the Glazers. Absolute disgrace to the club, says Max. Well, they're checking to see if it's offside. It's clearly offside. You can see it from there. Oh, no, he might be onside. I think Tellez's foot might have kept him on. I think this might be on. I think he's on. I think he's going to be onside. Oh, no. I think he's off now. Offside. Oh, it's offside. Great. Great stuff. Yeah, it's a victory for Manchester United. He's offside. Manchester. Oh no, they've given it now. I thought it was offside. No, but the VAR thing said offside. I thought it said offside. I thought it was on. I thought it was on, but I thought it had said offside. Well, I don't really care. Doesn't really matter, does it? Fred and McTominay runs past them like a bloody hot knife through butter. 4-1. What a bunch of prats, hey? What a bunch of trats. Honestly, Maguire is so bad. McTominay's arguably worse. Hides from games and is all. I actually agree with JJ. I think McTominay's been the worst player on the pitch today, because not because he's made the blatant mistakes, but because he's just been so invisible. And I think in a game like this, as a holding midfielder, you know, you've got to watch the game, you've got to understand the game. But the fact that he's been, I mean, Maguire's made mistakes, Lindelof's made mistakes, Fred's made mistakes, but McTominay has just been invisible. Hi, Mark. This is the worst performance against City by far. United need to face facts and say hello to the Emmerdale Cup, says Mohammed. It's the goal difference as well. You know, it's goal difference is big as well, isn't it? To lose 3 goals as well. Anyway, match reaction is going to be very interesting, of course, but make sure to do the player ratings. Link in the video description for that. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Also, don't forget the Boohoo Man. If you want a bit of positivity today, Boohoo Man are giving an £800 voucher away for one of you to get £800 to spend on their website. Links in the video description, or you can do it through the QR code. Just click it, enter, leave your details, and we'll announce the winner on Tuesday night's show. You can also get 40% off with the code United Stand. There is the final whistle. Thanks to Boohoo Man. You know what? I think in times gone by, I would have been a Boohoo Man. I would have been crying about that. But I expected more. I did expect more. I demanded more. And they've actually delivered less than I actually thought was possible. This team is a joke from top to bottom. The club is a shambles. And the scariest thing there is that it's not really about talent. It's about effort. It's about desire. You know, that was just not marking your men. An absolute disgrace of a performance. And, you know, he ain't no captain as well. I think McTominay's a shambles today. I think Fred was a shambles today. I think the back four was a shambles today. De Gea's probably man of the match. Maguire is the worst captain I've ever seen at Manchester United. He is absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. He looks like a guy who doesn't even want to be captain anymore. Just awful. Absolutely awful. These players don't care, says Cove. And also, hi, Mark. This is the worst performance against City. Okay, well, I'm going to see you on the match reaction. I'll be over there in a minute. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I've taken down some very interesting things to say. I mean, what did Lingard and Rashford do when they came on as well? The Chuckle Brothers, absolute crap. Get on social media and, you know, boost your profile there, because on the pitch, you're nothing. You're just social media stars. You may as well start doing YouTuber boxing, because you're just social media people now. You're not bloody footballers, you know, in a United shirt. I'll see you on the match reaction in a minute.